You've reached the Union and Metro Street podcast, where we discuss the San Diego music scene of the late 80s and all of the 90s, from the shows we worked to the shows we played. Here we go.
We got Mike Spen here, and I'm trying to do this live thing. What's the name of that song?
Because I said so.
Okay, and when's that coming out?
When is that coming out?
Yeah.
Well, we're in the middle of finishing a recording for the B-side. So once we get that and ship it off and they press it, should be in the next 6 months, I hope.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So like I was saying, we were trying to do this live thing.
That's right.
And it's just doing short clips.
Wait a minute. Are we actually live right now?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Am I ready?
I don't. Well, not really.
Oh, okay.
I mean, this is a B-roll.
No, fuck no.
But there's Mike. Here I am. There's Jerry. So we're trying to do this, and I'm too old to figure out how to stay on live. So this will be a little bit for people out there, and then
be patient.
You just got to get the podcast to listen to the full story and all the music. And in the meantime, Mike.
Yes.
Dude, how long have we known each other now?
Oh God, 30 years.
Yeah.
Got to be. Yeah, maybe longer.
Probably longer.
Probably longer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Feels like. I mean, you feel like an old bro, so it's been a while. You know? Yeah.
Definitely, and it was. Did we meet at Union? I don't remember.
I think we met before that, dude. I seem to remember you before that. You know.
Yeah.
I remember like a barber girlfriend or something.
Oh.
Like it seems like that feels like the 80s to me, but I don't know.
That would probably be early 90s.
Okay. That's when we met you, and we ran wild one night, and then we were just cruising around with you, just going ape shit. So.
Yeah, that's funny. I barely remember that, but I know there's plenty of antics that we'll get into later, like playing at the Velvet.
Yeah.
And Gabby would kind of be a little hot.
Gabriel. Yeah, Gabriel. Yeah, hasn't changed. He's exactly the same. Yeah, I think he just got a rehab. Yeah.
Oh, really?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
And I hope so, and more power to him if it's true. So I hope it works this time.
Well, let's dive all the way down into the roots of Spent Idols and just kind of brush over your roots in music. And I mean, we've talked about it before, but share with the people how you got into music and.
Well, I mean, when I was a little kid, I was babysitted by hippies. Right? I grew up by the pier in Oceanside my first 10 years. And my family's from Carlsbad, but my mom and dad lived in Oceanside. And when the hippie girlfriends, they'd move on, they'd leave their records. So I got a bunch of cool 60s records. And to me, that was like punk rock because that wasn't being played on the radio. Like the original Grateful Dead and all kinds of bands, Donovan, just all kinds of cool stuff. It was this kind of prototypical punk kind of, guys. It was like counterculture stuff. And these guys were like selling at Pacific Holiday Land, which is down the street from where I lived. They'd sell like psychedelic art and stuff like that. And they're smoking weed with strawberry flavored papers. And that wasn't normal, man. I mean, it was like Dragnet years back then.
Right.
Crew cuts and flat tops and shit. And then you had these guys. And I just thought they were cool. And they'd like watch me, they'd babysit me. So it's like, they were cool.
Right.
And then biker gangs would come up at the pier and all this kind of stuff. So that's how I got exposed to like rock and roll.
Okay.
Like good fucking 60s music.
Right.
Underground 60s music. No FM radio, AM only. If you want to listen to like 60s music on the radio, you're listening to like the Archies and the Hollies and, stuff like that. You're not hearing these bands, Steppenwolf and stuff. It's not being played yet. It didn't get played until, the late 60s, early 70s. I think FM came out in 71, 72. Then it got exposure, but you had to be in the know. Kind of like how punk rock was. When I got into punk rock, I was going up to Hollywood in the mid-'60s with my cousin and my friends. We were surfer skaters, but we hear about what was going on in England. Before that I was like following like the Runaways and got exposed to the Stooges. And whenever a new record came out, me and my friends would get it and we'd listen to it. Like we heard the New York Dolls. We're like, what the fuck is this? They're singing about heroin and stuff. It's just like... it's not being played on the radio even then, So then, like, I think the first new wave thing I went to was some LA thing up in Hollywood somewhere. And it was like, people were like in trench coats and skinny ties and bushy hair and girls in army clothes. And it was like that. They're just being weird, And that was kind of like punk rock, a year later, it's punk rock or whatever. And so I started going to things like that. And we'd come back down and we try to find the music. So you'd have to order it. You go to like Licorice Pizza and have it ordered. Somebody tell you a cool band, you get it ordered.
Right.
Stuff like that.
Because it's not really. I mean, back
it's
then,
not available.
Unless
there's no Lose Records. There's none of that. There's Licorice Pizza, and Licorice Pizza get whatever you want if it's out there, they'll find it for you.
Right.
They'll order it for you. So that's how I got my first punk rock.
And that's all. Was this pre-tape swap or?
What do you mean
remember back in the day, I mean, you would have a cassette that I probably still have some in the archives.
No, we'd burn cassettes and we'd turn people on to music.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, so the Dills, I don't know, people don't know this, but like punk rock was kind of born in the city of Carlsbad, okay? So there was a band called the Dills and the Zeros. Well, according to the media, they're like San Francisco bands, but I'm like, the Dills live down the street from me in Carlsbad.
Right.
So I see these guys walking around dressed like weirdos and shit. I'm like, I'm a skater surfer kid, like looking for identity. I see these guys. And one time I finally got the courage to talk to them and they told us about the Dills.
Right.
I'm thinking it's like 76 still, 77. I don't know. It was early on, but it burned an impression in me. And I was like, this is fucking cool. Like, I want to know more about this.
Right.
So then, I'm a regular dude. I'm just skating, surfing, getting weed and smoking weed and, staying up all night, sneaking out, skateboarding, riding our bikes, being a kid.
Right.
So I'm not really, it isn't like there's a uniform of punk rock and there's a punk rock hangout anywhere.
Right.
But I'm like a weirdo, like these Dills guys. I'm like, I can relate to these guys. So I'm seeking that stuff out. So I have to jump ahead a little bit. I'm going to Hollywood through the 77s, 78 and stuff. August, I get in a big fight with my dad. A big fight. Like so bad they had to separate us. So they sent me to my uncle's house in Long Beach. It's August of 78. down the street from my uncle in Long Beach was this place called Zed Records. It was a little red house in the middle of this city, and it had a British flag on the outside of it. It was a record shop, and I think I saw Ultravox playing there. You know, I mean, it was fucking, I'd never seen anything like that. So my uncle gets me a job. All my money's going to Zed. Zed's getting all my money.
Yeah.
I'm buying records. So at 78, I got the Crass record. It's not this gatefold poster thing. It's like a record. The first song is called the Song of Silence or something, and it's just static. Because they got banned. They wouldn't let them put their lead song on the record. But they pressed it anyway. And I was like, this is fucking cool. And they're talking about anarchy and stuff, like real anarchy, you know, and, you know, the Pistols are out, of course, and stuff. And, you know, I got the Glitter Best record because it was hard to find the original records because they were being banned. So I got like this bootleg Glitter Best thing that they self-funded from Zed. I'm getting like demo tapes from all these cool bands, Flyboys, like Alcoholics, like all these obscure bands. One of my favorite bands, Cutler's band, Paul Cutler's band. Consumers.
Because he was in 45 Grave as well.
Yeah. That guy.
I used to work with him at Golden Voice.
That guy's a musical genius. Yeah, that guy. That was punk rock.
Because he would say punk rock started in Arizona.
They came from Arizona. He's from Phoenix.
Yeah.
Came out here, and so I'm living up in L.A. and I see this painted car, and it's UXA with Dee Detroit and her boyfriend at the time, the guitar player who died. And I meet him, you know, we pull him over and they're like invite us to a show, you know, so we see UXA. It's like 78, you know, so. And then my uncle owned a ad agency in Palos Verde on Milagua Cove, and he's like, hey, you like this music, right? Angie Bowie was in here, and I'm going to do the cover of this 12-inch for her boyfriend's band called The Front. And he's like, here's a record, you know. It's like, would you like to meet her? I'm like, yeah, I'd love to meet her. You know? So I got to meet her and stuff, the thing, and then. So The Front's like this British band, and I guess she came out here thinking that she was in the middle of a divorce with David, and she was going to get a buttload of money, and she was going to finance this guy's rock career like she did David's rock career. And but David got the best of her in the divorce settlement. So we go to the Roxy, where it's just like, I mean, there's rock stars in there. I'm backstage upstairs at the Roxy. I'm like 17, 18 years old, like. And these bands are playing, you know, there's like people there, dude, you know, like famous people.
Right.
And it was just like, I'm backstage, this kid with these rock stars. And I'm like, what the fuck? You know, I'm like, I'd never seen anything like that. I'm from Carlsbad.
Did it register at all? Like, I'm amongst all these people, or is it just
I was
kind
just
of
like, I
in the
recognize
moment?
these people and stuff, you know, and there's like 60s rock stars and shit there. You know, it's like everybody was there. The place was packed. And I'm backstage VIP, you know. Not even giving a shit. I still don't give a shit, but it was a bitchin' experience, you know. Like I just was there, you know.
The most coveted part of any venue is the backstage.
Got wasted. There was drugs flowing, you know. They're just handing out drugs. It was just like the 70s.
Everybody wants to go backstage.
Yeah.
I want to get backstage. I'm
not that
Who
dude.
do you know backstage?
I'm not that dude.
You know, there's all these fans. Like, I want to go back, but do you know anybody? Right. Like, what are you going to do?
Stare at
them. That's all you're going to do. And then,
unless you're a girl, you don't want to be backstage. Girls have fun backstage.
You're going to feel awkward because they're going to stare back at you. And who the hell are you?
Usually end up getting in the way of the production because the backstage is not the pretty area. If you get in backstage, you get in on the bus or the green room. But backstage that's where all the happenings go. That's where someone like me is running around yelling at people. Jerry's coming through.
The guy's facilitating this thing. And then the rock stars might be on the bus. Or might be eating something, and you can't bother them. You know? But back then, like punk rock, they were accessible. It isn't like it is now where they have handlers and you got to make an appointment and time is money. It was like you could actually hang out. The beauty of punk rock is you could hang out. You know, like I hung out with Richard Butler from the Psychedelic Fur. You'd hang out. I saw The Cure in Irvine at somewhere in Orange County on a fucking basketball. You know, where they rolled the bleachers back and there's hand silk screen shirts and stuff, and they're there. Like I'm 20 feet from them, and you're talking to them.
Yeah. Was that a high school gymnasium?
It was a high school gymnasium, you know, and The Cure's there. And I bought a shirt that they probably made themselves, you know, and then they're like these megastars as big as the Beatles in a couple of years, you know. So I lucked out. You know, I saw punk head on before the Uniform, before Waddy and the Exploited, all that stuff. I saw it being birthed in California. I did see it. You know, Vox Pop. I saw Vox Pop early on, Jeff Dahl's band. I saw a bunch of bands. I can't even remember. I was at the Dead Boys. I don't remember it, but I have ticket stub. My cousin saw I was there. but I don't remember it,
Right.
And he's like, how could you forget that Stiv choked himself out with the mic cord? How could you forget that? How dare you, Mike? How dare you?
Right.
I'm thinking like, well, if they can do it, I can do it.
Right.
I'm thinking that.
Is this when it started to click to you?
This is
that
when
you
it's
wanted
like, I know I want to do a band. And I'd already been talking to my friend JP in Carlsbad. He lived down the street from me a little further than where the guy, Chip, lived. And he'd do his guitar, and me and him we were pogoing before there's pogoing and stuff. We're listening to Roxy Music and David Bowie and the Stooges and stuff like that. And we're going to do this band, Sacred Idols. But this dude, Max, moves into Encinitas, Acadia from L.A., and Max is from the city. We're like bumpkins in Carlsbad. JP's from Escondido originally. So Max comes in, and JP goes with Max, and they start their band, Sacred Lies. My band's going to be Sacred. Me and Jimmy were figuring out names, and I was going to do this band called Sacred Idol. But all of a sudden, Jimmy's playing live in clubs and stuff. Like me, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to play like backyard parties and stuff like that. So I had to come up with a new name, and then I saw a picture of Ronald Reagan in a cowboy hat, and I thought, Spent Idol. I'm going to call the band Spent Idol.
That's rad.
That's how it started.
That's cool.
Yeah.
The origin of a name, and it actually seems a lot simpler than even to this day. I have over here behind me somewhere is a list of about 10 to 12 different names. I write them.
Yeah,
I figured out how to use notes.
I used to do the same thing.
Then draw it out, see if it looks good.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out the right font.
Yeah.
So coming up to that, I mean, you've got the traditional old school, just our flyer font.
I still do that.
Yeah. Is that
nothing's
just
changed.
out of necessity, like when we were kids?
I mean,
It's just kind of part
I'm
of the
a one-trick
culture?
pony.
Yeah.
Just like that's how you do it. I do it, but I do it digitally on social media now, and nobody gets it. Like they didn't get it back then.
Right.
To me, it's 1978, even though it's 2023. I do things the same way I did back then. I'm an outsider. Punk rock is outside. It's not this mainstream thing that Soma turned it into in San Diego, and it's like people stepping on their best friend to become somebody. It's just, I don't really care about any of that. I didn't care about then. I didn't care about when I was in the Roxy with Angie Bowie. I didn't give a shit. You know? So I thought it was cool to be with her and stuff, but I don't have anything in common with this woman. You know? It's just like, and I feel like that with these bands. Like I've been invited. I knew Mike Ness. We had a party, and we lived in Balboa Island in Newport Beach in '79. We had this party. Mike Ness shows up. He's like telling us about his band, Social Distortion, the Kids, the Black Hole. He's telling us all about it and stuff. And, that's where I met him. And then years later, I met him through my business. I ran in through my business. So he's like, hey, I'm playing over here. You want to go backstage? And I'm like, nah, not really. It's just like people kill for that, right? I'm just like, he must have invited me 5-6 times. I didn't do it. I'd say like, well, my best friend's like a big, huge fan of you, dude. If you would let him backstage, he'd fucking die, like he died and went to heaven. So he did that, and then this girl I knew liked him, and I'd let them go backstage. I'm just not that dude. I could give a shit. I don't feel comfortable backstage. I don't think I'm better than the people in the audience. I'm not into it. I'm not into elitism. I'm not into corporatism. I'm the same way I was when I was 16 years old, except I'm an old man now.
Yeah.
I live the same lifestyle.
We don't want to be backstage. We just want to be on stage.
I want to be on stage.
Yeah.
It's like I don't care what other bands are doing. I care what this band's doing, and I like being on stage because it's therapeutic for me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So speaking of, when did you first play your first gig?
Well, like
a party or
party. It was like you'd put your own thing on the. It was in the late 70s.
Right.
I think I played until around 81. Not a lot, just like we don't play a lot now.
Yeah.
And but I played parties and stuff, and the police would, we'd try to be one step ahead of the police because they wanted to confiscate my equipment, and they did a couple of times.
Oh, really?
But,
you did get that?
Yeah, people like move out an apartment, and we'd destroy the apartment, kind of thing. Like we did stuff like that up and down the beach and stuff, playing. That's how we played.
Yeah.
It was a riot. It wasn't a concert, and like. I'd go to a club, and I'm not thinking like, oh, we need this club for the bands to play. I'm thinking like, fuck this place, let's destroy it. That's what I'm thinking.
Right.
That's I'm still kind of like that, but I can't do it anymore.
Right. Well, that's one of the things that I talk about is the excitement on stage. Part of the punk rock scene was you never know what's going to happen. Yeah. So when it became such a product to where you knew, okay, so-and-so's going to swing his guitar around.
Yeah, it was a formula.
He's going to go and stomp. It's almost so, I don't know, it produced that it doesn't have that live element anymore. And part of that became because, as you know, with my old projects, I would get a little kind of loopy and a little crazy.
I love playing with Pour and Cockroach, right?
Yeah, Cockroach.
Yeah, Cockroach.
And
I like that stuff. You know.
Yeah, I know.
Oh. Is it just me?
Mike's in the video.
It's all me, baby. This
Yeah.
is my moment to shine.
I'm here, but it's
He's
all
right
about
here.
Mike.
He's got a beard. He's got a headset on. He's wearing a beanie. It's got a hand-sewn patch on it. He's pretty punk rock.
Yeah, the same shit I was wearing back then.
Yeah,
out
he
of
hasn't changed
necessity.
much. We just got older.
I changed my pants, my socks a couple times. But so getting back to the early days of playing parties and all that, I love the things about the early scene, how it was such a small scene, so you would have to put out flyers and then word of mouth.
Yeah.
When did you graduate from doing parties and then just basically, what would you call it, bombing a place and getting in and setting up and then playing and get kicked out?
That's how we played.
When's the first?
The
official...
'90s. The '90s. So I the band ends for me. I start working life in around '82. I got pretty burned out of the violence, the punk gangs. I just wasn't me. You know, I was around from the beginning. I didn't like it was morphing into. It was like these crappy speed metal bands. It was just like wasn't, you know, just I'd rather listen to pop punk or pop punk or like ABC or fucking Depeche Mode or something, you know. So I just kind of like got tired of it. I had to work, you know.
You got into new wave.
I got into the new wave stuff. The girls liked it, you know. It's just like I wasn't a jock. It's like I don't need to hang around with my boys and, you know, prove I'm tough or whatever. It's just like I'd rather get laid than do that. So I'm like listening to the music the girls like. That's what I was doing.
Right.
And then I start working, and I'm just a working stiff. So by '82 through the 80s, I listened. I buy all the Ramones records when they come out, and I still bought records and collected them and stuff. But I'm a working guy, and I'm working a lot. And by the '90s, I'm pretty sick of the middle class. I'm like, this middle class stuff doesn't work. I want to put a band back together. I don't know it's going to be Spent Idols. I'm just like, I want to do a band. So I'm like, my girlfriend at the time was this girl, Laura, and she's like a big music chick. And so we're going to Soma, and we're going to all the clubs around San Diego and stuff, and we're seeing things on the weekend. And I know I'm going to do a band. I just don't know what type of band or whatever.
Right.
So I'm at the Spirit Club, and back then it was grunge. And like I'd go to the Soma, and I saw me and Jerm were talking recently about Daisy Chainsaw.
Oh.
I saw Daisy Chainsaw with Shudder to Think or something, and Shudder to Think was like the shoegazers, you know, junkie. It started out great, and they would just drone on to this like acid, fucking heroin, I'm passed out on stage kind of stuff, and I was just like not having that. But the Daisy Chainsaw played, and this chick comes out like a fucking, she's like, I think she's schizophrenic or something. Something wrong with her, right? But she's fucking badass. And the guitar player looks like David Bowie. He's all glittered out. I was like, this is a fucking punk band. You know, this is like, this is cool, man.
Right.
And I was like, wow, Daisy Chainsaw.
Exciting.
You know? That got me thinking, I'm going to do punk. Yeah, it was like punk. It was like you see these mainstream, like hip, these guys are kind of punky, but they're kind of hippie, you know, 60s House of the Rising Sun kind of vibe. And then you see Daisy Chainsaw. I'm like, I want to do a punk band. That's fucking punk rock.
Yeah.
That chick doing punk rock. She whipped out her wig, and she had a bandage on her head, and bloody bandage, and she's bald, and she's like, we're hanging out with her. She's like the squatter and from London and stuff, and the guitar player's her boyfriend and stuff. It's just like, it was, you know, she smelled like she'd been on the road for 3 weeks. You know, it was just like, it was fucking cool. She was rock and roll, man. That chick was rock. That
Katie
chick was
James.
real.
Yeah.
Oh, God. That's one of the best experiences I had in the 90s, dude.
Jerry knows. He's looking at me like,
Were you there, Jerry? Were you at that?
No. But,
oh, man.
But that's the band that Jerry brings up every podcast.
They were fucking great, man.
And every time I get the freaking
Love your
chills.
money.
I have to,
Yeah. And it's kind of campy. It's punk. It's punk.
I'm going to have to look them up because I've never seen them.
It's like, love your money.
Yeah.
You know, it's just fucking cool. You know, she's a squatter, like an anarchist squatter, like crass kind of chick. You know,
Were they kind of like lunatics?
No, I don't think so.
No, it was.
No, she wasn't a riot girl. This girl was like an anarchistic squatter from London who played music.
Think of and the musicians were really good. So, but the dynamics, because if I remember correctly, because I'm just thinking of Katie, but the guitarist and the bass player were pretty tall.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think if they had 2 basses. if there was a fifth member, but the wall of sound that came from him was just so right. Think of like Motorhead with a 5'5" full of piss and vinegar. Like, I'm going to make you, like, I'm getting, giving you your money's worth.
Yeah.
And it was the excitement. It was kind of one of those where being on the side stage, you never really know what's going to happen. Like when El Duce plays.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the hell is he going to do now?
Yeah.
But minus Katie being in the front, the bass player and the guitar player were just so monstrous in the wall of sound. It was intimidating. It wasn't manufactured, I would say, Motorhead sort of excitement and craziness with female vocals and very simple songs.
Yeah.
Very just...
The dude was like a glitter rock guy. I mean, he had glitter on and stuff, like he looked like Bowie,
like Billy Zoom.
Not like Billy Zoom, like the guy from Pulp or whatever, like that's
Yeah.
kind of the closest Bowie-esque kind of
Yeah.
thing. He just had a cool look. I mean, he's all coiffed. She's like in this dirty dress. Like, she looks like she'd be in a tea garden in England on acid or something, She just looked like somebody escaped from the psycho ward,
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to explain it.
But she was cool as fuck. I think she had like this fluorescent orange fake wig or something she was wearing, and this like frilly dress. And,
almost a
like
palm
super
dress
sweet.
thing.
It was punk rock. That dude. I'd seen punk rock more. That band was truly punk rock. It's like you can't pigeonhole it. It's its own beast.
And I think at that time was early because I remember I still had the big poster somewhere, but I think they had just got picked up. There was an EP and an LP.
Yeah, they got picked up right after that.
They were,
sure,
pushed hard, but other bands like when GBH would play, they were seasoned.
Yeah, yeah.
And mind you, that was an amazing show as well, but there's a little bit of you're not quite sure what's going to happen.
Yeah, GBH had been playing 15 years by then. This was like a band. I mean, it was just its own beast, and you should look it up. It's called Daisy Chainsaw.
Yeah.
And it's campy, British, rock and roll punk. It's like this glitter rock, David Bowie-esque guitar player, and this crazy chick who's just insane.
So
like,
this inspired you. So what?
That made me want to do a
step?
punk band. I'm like, I want to do this.
You start going home and writing notes?
Yeah,
and
I'm just
shit,
like figuring stuff out. So the next step, I'm at the Spirit Club, Jerry Herrera's Spirit Club, and we're watching this grunge thing again. And I think it was Unwritten Law was there or something. I forget. It was like, I think it was Unwritten Law before they were famous or anything. There was a bunch of bands, like a battle of the bands. And I'm ready to leave. It's like, it's getting closing time. And all of a sudden, we're just kind of standing around with my girlfriend because she's like, she's really into these bands and stuff. And I hear, next up, the exploding fuck dolls. And I'm like, we're staying. We're not going anywhere. I got to see this fucking band.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, these guys come out. It's like a couple of rockabilly guys with some hollow body SGs, and then two looked like strip rocker, like the guys you see at the Coconut Teaser downstairs, like in the black on black, look like gothy kind of, like there's a uniform for that kind of L.A. rock, where they're wearing black stretchy pants and black T-shirts and they have long black hair. And it was a cool juxtaposition, just like Daisy Chainsaw. And I'm watching it, and it's the Godoy brothers, these skateboarder dudes, and these two guys. And I'm like, these guys are fucking great. And they're like I think they did a Johnny Thunders cover, and they're kind of like seeing the, Sex Pistols meet, it was just a cool juxtaposition of music. It was just pure punk. It was just like Daisy Chainsaw, but completely different music. This, dual guitar, focus stuff, but it was punk rock. And so I want to meet them after the thing and talk to them and stuff. I didn't know who they were. I realized who they were once we started talking to them. And they were like tattooing people in Encinitas. And the roadies, I turn around, I see this roadie, and he's got this white Levi's jacket on it that says "fuck off" written on the back in felt pen. Turns around, it's Dwayne Peters. Okay, me and Dwayne Peters go way back.
Yeah.
I met Dwayne skateboarding when he was 16 and had long hair at the Fruit Bowl in Santa Ana. And I know Dwayne very well. I mean, he grew up in the Balboa Bay Club, like in this marble shoebox, cigar box house, and you look through the garage and there's a yacht, in the front yard, the ocean. Yeah. It's his dad's yacht and stuff. Like I know him,
Yeah.
And this is way before he's a famous skateboarder, way before he's a punk rocker. So I meet him skateboarding and stuff, and we become friends because he's just a character. He's just a wild, loose cannon, man. Just a cool fucking dude, And he's a couple years younger than me. He's this wild man.
Yeah.
There was a guy in Carlsbad called Joey Brand who was a pro surfer, one of the Pipeline Master. He reminded me of Joey Baran, because Joey Baran was just like his own guy. It's like this little blonde-haired dude. It's just like there's no stopping him, and he'll fight anybody,
right.
you know. And he's like a world-class surfer. Dwayne's just a kick-ass skateboarder.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like they remind me of each other.
Yeah.
Right? And so we meet Dwayne and stuff, and then in '78, when I went to live with my uncle, my dad cut all my surfer hair off. Right, I had like curly locks and stuff, kind of like I do now, my golden locks.
I did the same thing for a while,
and so it had grown out. When I was at the, I think I mentioned this at the boarding. Oh, before the podcast, we were talking about the boarding house where the Go-Go's lived in Long Beach.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Dacron from Round 39. Dwayne cut my hair for the second time because I knew Dwayne, right?
Yeah.
So we were at the Cuckoo Set together. We went over. He took me over to meet Dave Dacron. He's like, Dave's a super cool guy. And he's like giving me shit about my hair. So I let Dwayne cut my hair that night, right? So I had my second punk cut, and that was probably like pushing 1980 or whatever. I forget when it was, but. So Dwayne, I knew Dwayne as a punk rocker. Like we skateboarded, we didn't see each other. I'm up here in San Diego, and then he, I was at the Del Mar Skate Ranch when he won his thing, became kind of a skate rock.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So I was there and stuff, and I knew him at that. But he's like, he went off and did that skateboard thing, like professional skateboarding stuff.
Yeah.
And I was just, I'm a skater. I'm an early skater too, but I'm not into the contests and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But so I know Dwayne, and there he is, man. I'm thinking he's got to be dead by now because he's a madman, right? And he's he goes, full circle, Mike. It's our turn. And he goes, yeah, this band's great. And I go, hey, Dwayne, I'm putting a band together. And he goes, come over to my house, and it's needs to meet the Godoy Bros and all this stuff. So I start hanging out with the Godoys and Dwayne and stuff. And I'm like, I'm gonna do my band again. I'm gonna do Spin Idol.
Yeah.
We put together and so I meet him and we put a show together and we play in Carlsbad at Ralph and Eddie's. And that's like the first thing. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who'd you bring in? Did Dwayne even?
Dwayne was there. It was me. I had the flyer somewhere. I'll send you a copy of the flyer. And a couple of local bands or something.
Because Dwayne doesn't play an instrument, does he?
He's a drummer. Dwayne's
he
a
is?
drummer. He actually drummed in the Gun Club before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a drummer. Yeah, I would have loved to have him in my band as a drummer. But he's a front man,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like his skating. I mean, he's known for the acid drop.
Yeah,
among
he's
many other
skateboarding
things,
in
but-
boots, and he's the first guy to go 360 upside down, and he's just incredible skateboarder.
The loop and
Yeah.
his legacies. If you dive into it and not look at
His politics and his craziness.
But no, he's absolutely a legend.
He's a legend. He's a
could
legend.
swear I've
He's
seen
pretty
him up
much
at Del
burned
Mar.
his bridges, with his mouth, like we all do. But it's kind of. I mean, that's like knowing people like Dwayne and going to school with people that were like had movie star friends stuff. I didn't want that because I see it just ruins you. You become like a cartoon of yourself because you're trying to stay relevant and do all this stuff. I just wasn't into that. I'm not into being an icon and all that stuff.
Right.
These guys are into it. I don't need that. I feel very confident. I'd rather collect aluminum than sell my soul to society. I'd just rather pick aluminum up, and scrap aluminum. I'd rather be a homeless guy than some rich guy in a Ivy Tower somewhere. That's just me.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable in squalor. I'm comfortable. I've had nice places. I'm comfortable in that too. But I have no problem without that stuff.
Right. It doesn't define you.
Does not define me at all. No.
Okay. So is that lyrically? So you got a band.
Yeah.
You're going to
Spent
start
Idle.
playing.
We start playing as Spent Idle, but it's really not Spent Idle. I don't even remember Spent Idle songs, like
Really?
the original Spent Idle songs. I know the title one was 502, Pause and Ponder. I know Howard was the first drum player. Danny, my roommate, was the bass player. And that's about all I can remember as members, because we're dropping acid, we're drinking beer, it's just like we're just playing these parties trying to stay ahead of the law.
Right. Yeah. Because you would get busted if you even
There's damage being
practiced.
done. $30,000 back then. It's like $1 million now. And there's people who want restitution for the destruction of their property and stuff.
Yeah.
So, they want to catch us. They know who we are. Because the police just take from L.A. to San Diego, they take Polaroids of you and they put you in a little book and they grab you if they see you on the street. Because you're like a threat to the society as a punk rocker. This is like in the 80s.
Yeah.
So they know who we are. They just can't, they never pinned anything on us.
Right.
So, but they'll confiscate your stuff and not give it back.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff, back then. So
I've actually been threatened up at the house that I used to live at. It's legendary at this point. What's his face? Oh my God, I can't remember. My freaking Tony, who jams with Ryan Fox and Matt. They've they have their project there from Fishwife.
Okay.
But I used to live up there, and there was 2 times now that we were playing there, and the cops came and told us, the first time, cut it out, period. And the second time, we're going to take your stuff. So I remember telling Matt Olin from Fishwife, I go, dude, because they still practice down there, and they've been practicing down there for years. I said, yeah, I blew it. No one can practice here anymore. I guess the cops just have it out to me. Granted, my sound is just the bass alone is a little. It can make milk curdle. It can make.
It's got a distinct sound.
And granted, we were playing loud, but that was one of the things that they would do if they had enough force, especially in the early days. Mm-hmm. I mean, granted, getting Polaroids taken of you, and especially if you change your hair color.
Yeah.
Or do something different.
They take multiple Polaroids of you.
Yeah. And then, your file might be...
They're trying to figure out if you're the same guy or not.
Exactly.
And we don't have ID. Back in Asia, you didn't need to have
ID.
Oh,
yeah, no. We
didn't not police. We didn't live in the police state we live in now.
How about, Jerry, that ever happen with you? With the cops at all?
Yeah.
Getting stopped and harassed?
Well, I used to jam, too, in a garage in Mira Mesa. And
yeah.
And, we were told to shut it off, and if it happened again, they would confiscate our stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, you guys. We're the guys that birthed all that. So you had to pay for our sins. They didn't catch us. They tried.
But that's part of the whole, mystique of it, and that kind of helped build everyone as you're growing up. I mean, everything you do, riding a skateboard down the street, you had to worry about the jocks. I mean, I've been, have a car pull up, stop, eggs thrown. Around graduation, there would always be... whatchamacallit, shaving cream. So if you got caught, I mean, that was kind of innocent, but if you were a skateboarder and a punk rocker, you had a huge target on you from the old jockos. But at this point, so you're doing Spin Idol. When does that start to morph?
Like after the second show.
Yeah?
Because it's not the same band.
Okay.
So we just added an S to kind of make it different, but the same, because people knew the band. I mean, there's flyers, I have a couple of flyers. And
so who's in the band at this point?
The first band was a guy named Jose on drums from Oceanside that I used to work with. And a guitar player was John Pankoff. I call him Johnny Fire. He's a big, tall guy. Mm-hmm. And on bass was Henry Trejo, who was my cousin. And me on vocals. Yeah.
See, I didn't even know Henry was your cousin.
A lot of people don't. But yes, Henry is my cousin. Yeah, he still is. We still claim each other. We're 2 of the family members that still claim each other.
Yeah, I know. I understand that dynamic.
Yeah.
So is this when it started to get a little bit more serious, or?
Yeah. Well, so I'm dating Laura. Her sister is this gorgeous. Laura's 6 foot. Her sister's 6'1". She's just, she's a couple years younger than Laura. They're from Flagstaff. Dawn wants to be a model. She's gorgeous. I go to her high school graduation. She stood, foot taller than everybody in her graduation. It was a Santa Ana desert day, and it was just like she's in this gown. She looked like a fucking angel. I mean, she's this gorgeous chick. So right out of high school, she goes to New York, and Eileen Ford picks her up, and she becomes a model overnight. And she, she's over in Europe and stuff. So she's exposing us to her model life and saying, like, you guys should be a little more focused on this. She's making like $250,000 part-time in 1989 doing this,
Right.
And so she's like, and she has money, and she's like, she's a photographer, and she's taking super good shots of us and stuff. And she's like kind of saying, like, why don't you do it differently? She started a magazine, and she's trying to sell it to trans world, and I'm helping her with the magazine. I was doing the music editing and writing and interviewing for the magazine. It was called WIG, Women in General, but it was a little ahead of its time. Trans World didn't buy it. Trans World Skateboarding is also a magazine. They own a bunch of magazines. So the dream is you come up with your magazine, they buy you out, and you get to work for them with their resources and stuff.
Right.
But they didn't buy it. So they probably got about 10 issues out. I think it's still online. You can find it, but I was involved with that. So it kind of, like I met people from Vans and stuff like that. So Vans was pursuing the band, and so this guy Mark Sisyphus, who was like, I think he was in charge of the skateboarding, he's like the head of it or something. Now I hear he's like in charge of all the surf videos, and he lives in Hawaii. I'm sure he's a he probably was a multimillionaire then. He gets to know him, and he's like, I really like your band. We're going to come up with this festival thing. We want you to be the face of it. He's sending me shoes. He's sponsoring the band, and, we did this Wig Magazine event in Lake Tahoe, which is like the biggest event we ever did. It was like we were the opening band. There's like 5,000 people. Like 20,000 people were there. Beastie Boys played as Xenon, their punk band, off-label. They played there. The Cro-Mags were roadieing for them. The guy from the Cro-Mags was the roadie. So we're hanging out with these kind of people and stuff. But I just wasn't having the band thing, So Scott's like, hey, Mike, we're going to do this festival thing. I want you to be the face of it. It ended up being the Warped Tour.
Oh, okay.
I could have been the face of the Warped Tour.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're not that kind of band. I'm just, and he's just really saying, he's like, well, what if we do a shoe, a Mike Spence shoe? And I'm just like, I finally said, okay, because he was just relentless. I said, okay, how about pink zebra fur? He's like, Mike, they won't do that. There's no way they're going to do that. They can't sell that. This is before that kind of stuff was cool, right? He goes, let me design the shoe. We'll do red and black. Put your name on it. Just let me do it. I can handle all this stuff for you. Just let me help you. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do that,
Yeah.
Like, and I just wasn't having it,
Right.
I just was not having it. But it's a dream come true. Now, I don't regret it that I didn't do it, but I wish I did it because then people would pay more attention to me. I'd have, because everybody's like celebrity and labels and things like that.
Right.
So I wish I'd done that because I think people take my music more serious, take me more serious. I'd have a voice and things.
Yeah.
Where I just sound like an old man lying. But that's true.
But then you have all the obligations. I mean, you're basically.
I didn't want to sell my soul to these guys.
That's basically. I can relate to that totally and completely because that's kind of the premise of everything that I do.
Yeah, I know it is. That's why you get along well.
And so, I would love to have. Should Vans call me up right now and be like, "Oh yeah,
I'd be all over it right now.
Oh,
but
yeah,
it ain't gonna happen."
That's all the whole family wears.
Yeah.
Knock knock Vans.
Yeah.
Jerry here too. Mike, we could all use some shoes.
Yeah,
Union and Metro.
Crates of vintage shoes, dude.
Oh my
crates
God.
of archive shoes.
That's another chill up and down the spine because when I was a kid, I couldn't afford Vans, so that was always that level.
Yeah.
But just like you, if they would have approached me and said something, because I was sponsored in '86.
Right on.
I dropped my sponsors because I could see where it was starting to go. That's when, I've told this, so many damn times, but supposed to ride at SeaWorld. Went there, looked at the arena, and, Primo and his wife, Desi or whatever. And I didn't, number one of the sponsors was going to be Monarch Helmets. I was going to be riding at SeaWorld. They were going to tell me when to ride my skateboard. And at this point, I was already falling away from everything of being a productive part of society.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, I can't do this. I can't be a product. In hindsight, it's like I should have at least tried it and see where it would go.
Yeah.
But I was 17, 18 years old. So I just dropped everything, and I basically dropped out. And luckily, a couple of years later, I ended up, at Soma and booking shows. But that's kind of a hard pill to swallow.
Well,
and especially when, I could just imagine, so your music and your persona.
They want to change everything.
Right.
But so at this time when Vans was I was in the middle of a huge lawsuit against my employer, which was at the time the biggest construction company in the world, Bechtel Construction. George Schultz ran it, who was like Ronald Reagan's right-hand man, his Secretary of State. So I got injured there. So I'm in the middle of this lawsuit. I have like high-powered attorneys through my union because my dad was a union official. I had access to these high-powered attorneys. So I'm like, I could have them drop they would have drawn me up a contract and stuff. I know about corporatism. I know all about it. I don't like it. I still don't like it. That's why I didn't do it. I just didn't want to be a part of it personally because I have beliefs. Those beliefs stop you from the modern success of the world. So, but I'm like I said, I don't need all that to be happy. I'm comfortable in my own skin. I don't need money to make me comfortable. I don't, and I've always been pretty capable of making money. But the level, you look at Billy Joel from the Green Day and these guys, they got a lot of money. You look at, the Blink-182 guys, got $100 million in the bank. It's like, that would be nice now, But
it's also, as I mentioned before, we've tried to get through Chris Arms tried to get
Can't even.
Tom
They
on
won't
the
even
show.
talk to you, right?
Yeah, well, Chris said he had to send an email to his publicist.
I know, and you like made that band.
Right, but
I mean,
you know,
they should be like, hey, but it's a corporatist world with lawyers, insurance, all this bullshit blocking you from the common person. I'm into the common person.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not into the lawyers. Fuck the lawyers.
Yeah.
I'll use them. You know, I had the lawsuit. I've been involved in it. We won a $52 million lawsuit that I initiated against my homeowners association because I recognized some injustice. You know,
Yeah.
I do stuff like that. It's not popular. You know, it's not. They don't like that. They
it's
don't
putting
like
a giant
like
target, and it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I mean, they're a necessary evil when you actually need them, but that's just because shit happens, and sometimes you need to be protected for yourself or whatever.
People don't know, and if you recognize something and you can help, like I hired congressional witnesses in that $52 million lawsuit. You're not going to beat a congressional witness. Those people go before Congress, and they're experts. So if you get, I got them involved in the lawsuit against our builder of our homeowners association. I was on the board of directors. People see me as this punk rocker guy with weird hair, but I've done this stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I know how the world works.
Yeah.
I've been around. I'm not poor. I might not look like I have money, but I've been around. You know, I have a high lifestyle or whatever. You know, I had. And when they're telling me I don't understand, like Lynn, like these guys tell me I don't understand what they're offering me.
Right.
It's like I understand what you're offering me, and I'm saying no.
So let's dive into
I
that
understand
because. So we're going to back up. You got the beginning of the Warped Tour and Vans and all that, and then later, Len had approached you about trying to help develop your band as
well. You got us playing there.
Yeah.
Okay. And we worked our way up. Like
Right.
we humbly did that. Like I didn't care about Soma. I could care less about. I'm not knocking Pennywise. I'm not knocking Unwritten Law. But I'm not those bands. I don't want to be those bands. I'm not into what they do. You know. And I don't need the fame that they have. Right. I don't need that. I like being infamous. I don't like being famous. I like being. I like infamy. You know,
Yeah.
I want to be the guy, the Billy Kid, you know, Billy the Kid.
Yeah.
I want that be that guy. I don't want to be the fucking Donald Trump. You know, I don't want to be that. You know,
Yeah.
I don't need to be the boss. You know, I'd just rather be oh, wow, that fucking guy did a lot of cool shit. You know, and I didn't give a fuck. That's me. I still like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, so we worked our way in.
Mm-hmm.
We did a couple of shows. And then finally, you know, because we're good at what we do, even though it's a mess. It's a confined mess. It's a controlled mess. We got to the main stage pretty quickly. And then, you know, and the Blink-182 guys are there in the audience and stuff. And, you know, I know their friends, Swindle, I know you. I know people that know them, but, you know, I never even said hi to those guys. You know what I mean? They're just like, to me, they're like 15, 20 years younger than me. You know, it's like, I got nothing in common with these dudes. I didn't grow up in Poway. I grew up in Carlsbad running wild. You know, I'm not, I don't know about making it to school. You know, I didn't cooperate with school and stuff like that. I wasn't cooperating with my parents, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so Lynn, after that gig,
right.
I didn't tell anybody. I think I told you later. I don't even know if you knew about it, but Lynn pulled me in the office and he sat me down. He goes, I'm not going to mention the name of this band, but he goes, I will drop them right now. You know who I'm talking about, and I will get behind you 100%. And I said, man, we're really not that kind of band. We're not like these dudes, you know. We're really not like these kids, you know. These are like innocent kids that you're raping or whatever, you know what I mean? Not you know, sexually, but like, you know, you're making some money. And I think from you, I saw the breakdown of the pay schedule for these bands, for Blink, for instance, for Blink. I saw like what they were making compared to like Lynn, the lawyers and stuff. So I knew they were getting like a tenth of what everybody else is making. Right. So I was like, I don't want to do that. You know, I'm thinking I can do it myself DIY. I don't need Vans. I don't need Lynn. I can do this myself. That's what I'm thinking. Like I'll be Lynn. I'll be Vans. I'll be my own brand. Right. I don't need their help. I think I can do this because there's a DIY movement at the time, right? But I was wrong. You know, I was way wrong. But so Lynn's in there telling me, and then finally I said, okay, Lynn, what would you want me to do? He goes, well, we got to get you some lessons. We got to rewrite these songs. We got to blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, You know, it's like I don't want my music to be on the radio. Back then when I wrote a song, now I think differently. I didn't want it to be on the radio. Right. I wanted it to make your ears bleed. I wanted it to be like Poor and Cockroach. Like, it's not something you can play on the radio. You know, it's like it's crass. You know.
Yeah, it's like, also a visual thing because we'll get into it because minus Jesse on the drums, but even seeing him behind those drums, it's like that was a big boy, but there was an element of danger. which makes
That's what they didn't understand,
rock and roll.
that it was real danger.
Yeah.
We had Gabriel, a fucking insane person in the band. And like, you know, it was dangerous. It was hard to keep everybody corralled, you know. So I was getting a bad rap because I was like running it like how the Ramones ran the band. You know, I read the Ramones book. I read Johnny's book, and he didn't let anyone fuck around. And if you made a mistake, you got penalized. So I was raised by a World War II paratrooper. So I thought like a soldier, but I lived like a wild man.
Yeah.
You know, but I have direction in my life, even though you can't see it, and I know what I'm doing, even though it looks like I don't.
It's controlled chaos.
Yeah, it's controlled chaos. I'm controlling this chaos. It's not fucking easy.
Right.
And by the time the band breaks up in '97, it was just too much work to keep going. And we were at the height of things. You know, it's like we're building up to stuff. But going back to Lynn, he's like, well, you know, blah blah blah. We're going to do all this, and I said, we're not. I don't think so. And he's like, do you understand what I'm telling you? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, he gets pissed at me, right? And he's like, you know, I'm fucking offering you the world here kind of thing.
Right.
And I'm like, hey, Lynn, I put my pants on one leg at a time, just like you, motherfucker. And he's like, get the fuck out of my office. I've never met anyone with such a bad attitude. You know, and I'm like, fine. So we never played there again. I think we played there 2 or 3 times, you know?
Yeah, back then it would be, I could kind of slide it in. But he also, as we talk about at Metro, he started slipping away more and more where he realistically didn't need to be there.
Yeah.
So I think it was kind of strategically like, they've got it, you know, and at this time,
it's running itself.
Jerry's coming in as well. I mean, it was a well-oiled machine. Everyone had their place. We didn't need him around, and I don't remember, you know, I probably did get shit from him because of the fact that I was kind of the same way.
Yeah.
He tried to mold me, and molding me is like, oh no, I'm so fucking way insecure.
He only wanted to mold people to control them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't to help. It was just to control and keep them under him.
Yeah.
I don't remember, did Lynn ever manage any bands?
He would try to, but I don't. God, this is a really good question. I would have to really do a deep dive on it, but I'm pretty sure that he did have his hand in basically handing over to Rick DeVoe and Bill Silva.
I think he's marketing. He's kind of like how he sold his name. He knows where to get it.
Yeah.
He's connected.
So,
he's not the only guy to offer me that, but like here, you know, I've had that offered to me a couple of times.
Yeah, and that was the whole kind of thing of you work with me, and I remember him saying distinctly, "Oh no, you've done your part. They're not working for you anymore. They don't play for you. They're playing for me."
Yeah.
And I looked at him like, "You're a fucking asshole."
Yeah.
I do all the work so that your dumb ass can. Oh fuck, and you. But you know that as Jerry knows this, at the end of my term there, when we started doing all the raves and all that, it became so much different. It wasn't comfortable. My exit was inevitable because of the fact that I was like you, and I needed to be.
You got to get away from it.
You got burned out as well.
Yeah, you got to get away from it. I was burned out too. I was getting burned out too.
You can only be controlled so much.
And then when I left, I was burned out, and I didn't need the constant put down and stressing me out, and I'm doing this long ass drive every weekend. It's like, come on. And I'm the one that brought up the whole damn thing to even get the damn club back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not only that, if Jerry wasn't able to pick up some pieces when I had left, then it would have fallen apart then.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he could have kept doing
all the heavy lifting. You guys are keeping it together. People were playing. I played for you. I didn't know Jerry, but it's like you're the reason they're there. They're not there because of Lynn, because Lynn's a dick. Everybody knows Lynn's a dick.
Yeah.
You know, no, it's like they're just kissing his ass because they want to be Lynn or whatever. They want to be liked by Lynn. I didn't want to be. I didn't need to be liked by Lynn. You know.
Right.
Hindsight, musically, yeah, I did. You know, because I burned a lot of bridges with a lot of people, promoters. I did not realize that these promoters are friends with all these places all across the country till I went on my first national tour, because I had West Coast representation, I had New York representation, and I was getting shows yanked out from under me because of my antics.
Yeah.
In Texas. I was like, what the fuck? How does he know? I got a call from Tim Mays, like, hey, Mike, did you break some bottles at the club? Because we played some exclusive club in Austin? And I'm like, yeah, I did. But it was like behind me. He goes, yeah, but glass flew into the audience. And I'm like, yeah, a little bit, but it mostly flew on us, you know? It's just like,
the whole thing with promoters and stuff, because when I tour managed, there would be stories about different bands, and it would get around to every venue.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, let's X this band out.
Tim got us in that venue. I didn't know Tim helped get us in that venue. And he's like, Mike, you can't be doing that. This is like where all the big reggae bands play and all this.
Right.
It was an open air club there with the no ceiling.
It's a small world.
Yeah, it was a small world. I started realizing. So we had all this stuff set up for Georgia with we were doing college radio things. Like we played MIT, we played the colleges, right? And when I get to Georgia, every show we had was yanked. The promoter who booked it was this chick from Georgia who was connected to the FM radio and the college radio system, and we didn't get to play at all in Georgia. So we're sitting in Georgia for a week. Our next show's down in Miami, and then the second day of it, I'm like, why are we sitting in fucking Georgia in a parking lot? You know, let's drive to Miami. You know, Miami's happening. We can spend a few days down there. You know, so we drove down there. But yeah, it's like we were losing gigs. You know, that breaking the glass got back to Tim in San Diego because I guess he gave us the okay to play this place.
Right.
Because people are kind of scared of us, you know.
Right. It's,
you know,
again,
that
adds to that.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it adds to the element. But at that point, it was basically, I don't know if it would be more of a homogenized sort of easier run because the bands that I had a hard time with, it seemed like no one else had that problem, but my problems with certain bands weren't the same issues that Len had to deal with because the minute they show up, I'm on babysitting call.
Yeah.
And I don't have to just deal with the band, but I have to deal with Len. So if I rub someone wrong, it would come back on me. Mm-hmm. But his reputation kind of exceeded the club as well. So I would have people come in and they would be cool with dealing with me. Mm-hmm. But some people just hated dealing with me. And now in hindsight, that's probably why so many people gave me so much shit.
Yeah.
And I might call them out too.
Lynn might have told some of them to do it.
And then there was a bunch of bands that just wouldn't play Somo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that goes back into
that. Why was that?
Because Lynn.
Yeah.
Because they didn't like him, right?
Yeah.
Like he's got a reputation.
Yeah, it's a reputation.
Yeah. And then
stains
he was
the
nice
whole,
to me.
It stains the whole venue.
He was nice to me. I spoke to him one time.
And the funny thing is,
they hated me.
I was friends with a lot of people that were in some of these bands that wouldn't play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the venue, and here I'm like, dude, you want to play? Come play. I'll get you in. Oh no, we don't want to play there.
Yeah,
there was like a whole anti-Somo movement, you know.
Yeah, well,
that's why all those bands would be Casbah bands.
Yeah, well, and I was cool with Tim because Tim was one of the fathers of the punk rock scene.
Yeah, and I was always cool with Tim. Tim was never high strung.
Yeah,
that's why I liked.
Tim was chill. I loved
He was
Tim.
totally chill.
I love him, but you know, I burned my bridge with him. You know, it's just like I haven't spoken to him in a long time. We played there last September. I was surprised we got on because I've hit him up. I mean, I knew Tim very well.
Yeah.
You know, and I love Tim. He's a great dude. I mean, he's really a cool dude, and he gave us a lot of good shows over there and stuff.
Yeah.
It was fun.
It's funny because a lot of San Diego promoters were actually really chill.
Yeah, San Diego's chill compared to other places.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There wasn't pay to play like there was up in L. Like we'd have to do pay to play it in the beginning, and I'd be like, I don't want to do this, you guys. So I'm like, I'd talk to him and say, how do we get around this? You know, and he go, we did it like once with Coconut Teaser, but I figured out how to sell all my tickets, right? And so the first time we played with them, they're like, you can just play. You sold all those tickets?
Yeah, because LA was always pay to play, where San Diego wasn't.
No,
it wasn't like
not.
that.
It was not. But like what I did is I got my band members' girlfriends who wear bikinis, and there's tourists up there, and we sold the tickets for face value. So we sold all our tickets.
Yeah.
You know? So we did it one time.
You're not making any money, but you're getting a gig, and it's exposure.
And I know that once they see us play, like Lynn sees us play, because like you gotta watch out for these guys; are dangerous or whatever.
Yeah.
Even Agent 51, it's like, is that a true story about the blah blah blah? You know, we have a reputation as being loaded, you know, dangerous or whatever.
Yeah.
So once we get in there, I know they're going to like us because I'm professional at what I do. I know how to put a show on,
right?
You know, and it is controlled chaos and all that. But it's like I'm purposely doing this because this is what I want, you know.
Yeah.
But so I knew once we got in there, and then that opened the door. Like we headlined the Whiskey before we got into the Roxy, you know. Once because the Coconut Teaser guy. By then I'm knowing they know each other. It's like we did the pay to play once, and then it was done because we're a good band, you know. So they figured we'll put these guys in. So we'd play at Halloween time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's funny because when I've mentioned this in the past, but when Metro closed, everything became pay to play.
Yeah. Well, that was the model, definitely.
Even when we reopened the new Soma, kids wanted to sell tickets.
Yeah. Yeah. That was like
That's
the model
crazy.
at the time, but I'm not into that, you know. I don't want to do that. I'm like,
Yeah.
I think my band's better than that. That's how I'm thinking.
Well, not only that, it's some of these headliners, they don't do that, and
No,
it's
they
all
don't
the
have to do
opening
that.
bands, and
Yeah, it's
they're
once they don't
forced-
have representation.
Yeah, they're forced to actually sell the show out.
Yeah. The thing with us is like, people wanted to represent us. We just didn't go with it. You know, I wanted to do it myself. You
Right.
know? But, you know, I should have cooperated a little bit more, you know, because now it's hard. I can't just pick up the phone and talk to these guys like I could before.
That's
You
the
know.
same thing for me.
Yeah, I know it is. That's,
You know.
I
Well,
know.
And now it's a monopoly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a whole different
Yeah.
ballgame now. It's nothing about money. It's not about music.
It's the,
Like
corp-
back then
it's
it
the
was still-
corporation.
It's corporate. Back then it was
It's
still
now
about
a
the
machine.
music. It's
Yeah.
not anymore. There is no real music scene anymore. You know, to
There's
me.
the kids are, and I brought this up before, but the Magno kids are really doing their part. But that's the, teenager and the 20s crowd, but they are running into the same monopolization that has been going on for a really long time.
Yeah.
So they're finding ways to get around it. But if you can ask the common layperson that goes to shows all the time, it's still really cliquey. It's like, okay, yeah, we play these certain bars all the time. There's no real heavy emphasis just on local stuff as what made Soma what it is today. Mm-hmm. And it's because people, back then, a few of us would hold on to artistic impression and we base it, expression, I should say.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But, now it's people really, that's what they want to do. They want to be in a band. They want to tour.
It's like McDonald's, dude. It's like everything's boxed on a shelf, and they're willing to be a product. I mean, look at social media. Everybody's acting like fools. Everybody's
Same thing as in skateboarding.
everything.
You can
It's
make
just-
money off of YouTube and off
yes,
of Reels
it's
and all
just
that.
about copying what the other guy's doing, and it's just it's controlled.
Yeah.
I'm not into that.
Everybody's a parrot.
Everybody's parroting.
Yeah, there
everybody.
you go.
Yeah, and that's the beginning of it. Back when we were playing, that's the beginning. It's what you were doing. That's the beginning of this world we live in now. It's like Andy Warhol's "Everybody Have Their 5 Minutes of Fame" kind of thing. It's real now with the social media. And to me, social media is like a disease. It's like I don't like it. And they're going to start doing social credits, and if you're not a good citizen, it's just this weird world.
Communism creeps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just it's complete control, dude.
The funny thing is, like, even today, trying to get. I mean, V and I were talking last night about. She's all, it's about time to upgrade your phone. I'm like, I've barely even figured out this one.
Yeah.
And I just figured out today how to do the Reels, which I thought was live for Facebook.
Oh yeah, Reels are cool. Yeah.
And every
People
time they
like
change,
Reels.
yeah, it's crazy. And every time that they change something, I look at it and I think, oh, did I get hacked again?
Yeah.
And then I get weird messages and like, oh, I'm hacked. It's just everything because you live so much on the phone.
Yeah.
That I can see how it can be a benefit for these kids who pick it up, just like that.
They
can
understand it
roll
way better
with
than
it.
an old guy like us.
And they're making it work for themselves.
Yeah.
But the back in the day, doing a band, you still do different art and everything. Let's talk about some of the art that you do for Spend Idols, because now
I do all my own.
it's not
artwork.
cut and paste anymore.
Well, not actual scissors and paper. It's digitally cut.
Because
and
I
paste.
still do
That's awesome.
the
That's
cut because
awesome.
I can't figure out how to do it.
Well, you will just mess around. It's not that hard.
I just hire someone else.
Yeah, if you got the money. If I had the money, I'd just hire somebody too. But I got to do it myself. There's no money in what I do.
And so the imagery, when exactly did you come up with the logo? Because it's it's the traditional cutout style logo.
This guy Kenny did it. His online presence called Slug. I think it's SALHLUGG. Kenny Garrett, and he does all the artwork primarily for this Orange County label now. I forget the name of him, but he came up with a lot of that artwork, like the Sex Pistols logo thing. He did that.
Oh, okay.
Because he wanted to make a T-shirt that said "Never mind the Sex Pistols, meet the Spent Idols" or whatever. Here's the Spent Idols. So, but I just took the Spent Idols part because it looked cool, and I love the Spent. I love the Sex Pistols, so I kept the Sex Pistols part for the Spent Idols because it's a good homage to the Sex Pistols.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of my favorite bands. So, we got a lot of it from him. The safety pin, Kenny drew that up. Kenny he did my German 7-inch that came out last year. He did the artwork for that and the safety pin and stuff. And he's always done my artwork, But so he would give it. He does cut and paste. He gets the gels and cuts the things out. Does the old school silk screen stuff.
Yeah.
You should look him up, Kenny Gary. He's a super cool dude.
Yeah.
He's an old punk rocker like me. We're at the same shows back in the 70s. I'll give you his info.
Yeah.
You can look him up. I forget the name of the Orange County label he's with, but it's like if you're in Orange County, all the Orange County bands are on the label.
Okay.
But like
Do you recognize that at all? Orange County label with?
No.
I was around the Orange County scene in the beginning. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I ran from Santa Barbara to Mexico. It's like I am part of the Orange County punk scene. I was like, Shattered Faith and stuff played in my cousin's living room and stuff. I brought Political Crap, which was Dwayne's first band, to Encinitas.
Okay.
It's like we did a lot of stuff. My dad was born in Buena Park in 1925. I have family from there. I have family in Santa Ana to this day, Tustin, all over, Yorba Linda, all over the place. So it's like it's hard for me to see these Orange County scenes and these locals and stuff. Like I was born here. My family, third generation Californian. Right when the statehood came. So fourth generation. So it's like I feel like a local. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I was born in Oceanside Hospital. It doesn't even exist anymore. It's just like it's hard for me to see all these new locals and these 90s punk rocker guys. Like to me they're tribute bands.
Right.
It's not. I was like there. You know what I mean? I was playing and stuff.
Right.
I was at the shows. I'm not mimicking. I'm not parroting anything. This is like you see the spin out. It's like seeing a band from the 70s. People don't understand it. They just think because we had the height of popularity in the 90s that we're from the 90s. That's not so. So I got to put up with that. So had I done shoes and people knew my story or whatever, I'd feel better because I just feel like I got these crazy stories nobody believes. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're like, well, who are you? And I'm not gonna waste my time explaining who I am to anybody. You know what I mean? Like, so it's kind of a bitter pill.
Right.
Because
But you are now.
Well, I am now. I mean, you guys are hearing it first.
Well, that's the whole thing is
That's the story.
Yeah, this has been quiet for a number of years.
Yeah.
I've dabbled around it, but you guys are pretty much getting the clear picture here.
Right.
And then there's this guy, Boris, who wants to do this film on San Diego punk rock, and I'll put you guys in contact with him.
Okay, cool.
So I was telling him a bunch of stuff. Like, people don't know Chip Kinman's from Carlsbad, not widely.
Right.
Like, it came from Carlsbad, dude. That fucking band, the Dills, came from Carlsbad.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool. People need to know that.
Yeah.
Carlsbad locals don't know that,
Yeah. And Carlsbad's kind of now there's a huge music scene. It's a younger scene.
Yeah, there's a cool music scene there, but it's kind of like a hippie surf culture
Yeah,
thing,
when I talk to the kids, I ask them about
my cousins put on shows there in Carlsbad every weekend.
And I'd ask them, is punk rock nowadays just basically a hashtag? Because
Yeah,
they
it's a
don't
hashtag. Life's
see it
a
that
hashtag,
way.
dude.
They don't want to.
They don't know any better.
They don't want to be pigeonholed into trying to relive something that started in the 70s.
They're not inventing anything new. They are not. Yes, Jerry, they are. They're not creating anything new. They're rehashing stuff they don't know existed before them. There's popular music. The labels resell these songs generation after generation to new audiences. There's people hearing 50 songs today thinking they're new. There's this 80 sound in pop.
Well, there's a couple producers that write the majority of that.
They hire multiple songwriters, all this stuff. It's a
country.
It's like disco. Yep. Disco was doing this in the 70s. That's why punks didn't like disco because it wasn't true music.
Mm-hmm.
The music today is like disco's model. It's all put together. You buy beats, you add your lyric content.
Mm-hmm.
They're all the same.
It's all fake.
It's all fake.
It's kind of like if Burt Bacharach was here right now, he'd be like, "Yeah, I sold a lot of." I mean, we looked at it yesterday.
Yeah.
All the different artists he wrote songs for.
He's been writing since '46.
Yeah.
He wrote a lot of songs, rock songs, country songs, pop songs. I met him twice. I saw
really?
Him. Yeah, I met him. He used to live in Del Mar when he was married to Angie Dickinson.
Yeah.
And there were movie stars around Rancho Santa Fe, Del Mar area, and I used to run wild there. Like there were some girls I knew that lived over there, and like Victor Mature was their neighbor. And this is in the punk era in the 80s, early 80s. I had girlfriends over there, friends that were girls, and their parents were wealthy. So you'd see these guys. So I met him through that. I met Victor Mature. I met, I think, some silent actress. I forget her. I think Moorhead or something. I forget what her name.
Agnes.
I think so. Some writers and stuff.
Bewitched.
Yes, I'm pretty sure she had a place over there. We met
name?
people like that.
Yeah, you got her name right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Agnes Moorhead. Yeah,
Okay,
I'm pretty sure she was out there. Victor Mature for sure. Burt Bacharach was out there. Solana Beach, Del Mar, Rancho. And back then they were approachable, and they'd love to tell the stories of the old days, and you could talk to them. Desi Arnaz had a beach house in Del Mar, and Boris, the guy Boris wants to do this documentary. Desi used to babysit him in Del Mar, So.
And then they would go from up in that area, everywhere from basically Carlsbad, Rancho Santa Fe, up into Hollywood, and they would go to Palm Springs.
And Palm Springs, Del Mar, and Hollywood.
Yep, they have a hotel in Indian Wells.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They had their reserved parking spaces in Del Mar when I was a kid. You can go look at the celebrity, Desi Arnaz, Irwin Allen, all these.
Mike Spence.
Yeah, right, yeah.
I had my
We're sneaking in, we're climbing
spot.
the fence. We didn't need a parking lot. We just climbed the fence. I never paid to get in anywhere.
Well,
anywhere.
let's take a complete offset here. Did you ever do a Burt Bacharach song?
No, but Burt Bacharach is an influence in me.
Oh, really?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's an influence on a lot of bands, dude.
Yeah. Because of
especially
so many
in the
artists
80s,
and the
a lot of
music
the English
that he did.
pop bands were like Elvis Costello. You can hear Burt Bacharach.
Yeah.
A lot of those pop bands, there's Burt Bacharach melodies there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's funny because so if you look at 74, well, let's dive all the way down to like 72, 73, 74, and then especially the punk rock in Europe in 77 when that just blew up. Everyone has their influences. There wasn't a punk band then. So your style is based off of,
all
the
that.
60s and all the music that you heard.
All that. Yeah, the Stooges, the MC5, the Dead Boys a little later. There's all those elements. Burt Bacharach, Daisy Chainsaw's there. I mean, because she's writing Burt Bacharach. Some of her songs have Burt Bacharach melodies in them.
And it's basically the song structure.
Yeah.
And it's all about how you present it.
Burt wrote the hook in these popular songs.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't write the lyrics. He worked on that with his partner. I forget the guy, Hal Jepsen or something. I forget the guy's name. But he was the melody maker. So hook's important. Melody and hook are important. And that's like Spent Idols are retarded, excuse my language, backwards little songs, dumbed down little songs. But there's hook and melody in them.
Yeah.
There is definitely hook and melody in them. So type.
That also lends it to be more exciting.
Well, when I was a kid, the number one selling song was a song called Afternoon Delight.
Oh, yeah. Yep. That's funny. I was thinking that exact song.
I used that model in all of my songwriting.
Yeah.
It's very simple. It's like it's like Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I use that model. Music's that simple to me. I'm more into like English pop versus like metal.
Right.
Metal doesn't appeal to me. Like I'd
So
rather
you're not a fan of Venom?
I'm not a big fan of any of those bands. I respect them.
Mm-hmm.
I love them, and like they have some Sex Pistols and shit going on.
Oh yeah, that's the thing about Venom, the early Venom, and even to this day, it's the same formula.
Yeah.
But it just has raspier vocals.
Yeah, just a
and the
harder
lyric
edge.
content.
Yes, a harder edge. But no, it's not. I'm just not that guy. I'm just.
You
like
don't
my
have to
friends
be,
were into Kiss and stuff. I wasn't into that.
Yeah, I'm not either.
But I love the body of Kiss songs. There's some beautiful fucking structure there. But it didn't appeal to me. My friends would wear the face paint and stuff.
Yeah.
I just wasn't into it.
What about you, Jerry? Are you a big Kiss fan or at all?
I don't own a single Kiss album.
Yeah.
So you weren't doing the face
songs.
makeup and
They got some great songs.
As a kid, I liked the look.
yeah.
And I had maybe a couple posters I won at the fair.
Yeah.
But other than that, no, I never got the Kiss.
Yeah, either was I. I always thought it was, to be honest, I always thought it was kind of kooky.
It's kind of commercial. It's a money machine.
You look at that stuff from the 70s, it's kind of it's totally funky now if you look at that. When they made that movie, it was Kiss versus the Phantom or whatever it was. I can't remember.
Phantom of Paradise, whatever.
I don't know. I can't remember. Well, there was that movie, The Phantom of Paradise.
That wasn't it?
No.
Okay, yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, I never really, but if you look at it now, they influence so many people, like even King Diamond.
Yeah.
And then you get into the death metal with
even Pantera.
Yeah,
Dimebag
Kiss
was
is
a huge
Kiss is a very influential band. But they're taking Slade. They're like making Slade popular music. You know, like I was into Slade and stuff like that. This prototypical stuff. Hawkwind.
And when you talk about corporations, Kiss is a corporation.
It is a business.
Oh, yeah.
It's a business. And I recognize that as a 16-year-old, and I wasn't into it. When I was 19, I wrote a story about plastic people, and I didn't want to be one of them because I grew up, and I could tell they're marketing hippie, they're mainstreaming hippie and stuff in the 70s.
Right.
And natural food culture and all this stuff. And, you know, and I was into the natural food stuff. But it's like I don't like the ball of society, the way it kind of consumes and reinvents and remarkets. I'm not into it. I like being my own person outside of that.
Right.
You know? So I've always been like that. But I used their principles at work, like Afternoon Delight, and influence in my punk rock songwriting.
Yeah.
You know, people don't know that. They don't know Burt. They wouldn't know that I love Burt Bacharach. I don't tell people that. It's just my personal preference. But I've seen him a few times. I've met him a couple of times, and I respect the man. He's a hell of a fucking songwriter.
Well, that goes into the whole thing. If you have influences before punk rock, how are, you know, when people try to pigeonhole you, okay, so you're not punk rock because you listen to blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I don't engage in any of that.
It's like, okay, well, you know, that's your first strike. What's next? You're going to make fun of my red hair?
I saw punk rock before it had a name.
Yeah.
Okay? So I don't get into that argument. I get, like, people are coming out of the 80s and 90s, and that's punk rock. I get that. I was there, too. You know, I was around that. I participated in it. But that's just kind of the version that's stuck, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, the Stooges are punk rock. They don't look like punk rockers, you know what I mean? But they're fucking punk rock, you know?
Iggy's.
I heard like, my ex was friends with all these rock stars. She's a really good, she had a degree in music, and she had these blues bands with, like, ex-rock stars, like drummer from Big Brother, you know, the guy that wrote 96 Teardrop. She's playing live with these guys around here because they retired here and stuff. And the drummer of Big Brother and the Holding Company gave me played me. He goes, Mike, I think you'll like this. You should. It was like them with Janis Joplin. It was fucking punk rock, dude. The demo tape was fucking punk from like 1971, dude. It was like it wasn't bluesy stuff she was doing. It was like she's belting it out, and it's like these little punk songs, dude.
Right.
It was I wish I could get that. I wish I would have burned that demo tape, dude.
And then she left them.
Yeah.
I was actually born in the same hospital.
Really?
Delivered by the same
she's a
doctor.
She's a great
really?
singer, that
Janis
woman.
Joplin was.
Janis Joplin was a great singer.
My aunts went to high school with her.
Yeah. Oh, right. On. Yeah. She was a tortured soul, you know.
Yeah.
Like you guys might not know, but I'm like an antique broker and an antique dealer and stuff. And 20 years ago, I sold a painting that was featured in Playboy. That was the original painting of Janis for this article that Playboy commissioned. I brokered the deal with the guy that owned it to a fan and stuff. So, you know, I had the Playboy issue in the magazine for the guy and stuff. But yeah, he was just like, you know, she was great. Janis Joplin was fucking great. Yeah.
And she was doing punk rock style.
Her fucking demo shit's punk, dude. It's like the Stooges with the girl singing. You know,
That's
it's just
crazy.
fucking.
She was hardcore.
She was hardcore, dude. She's drinking fucking Southern Comfort and shit and blacking out on fucking black. You know, those fucking.
Black Beauties
what killed her was pure heroin.
Yeah. Well, she would take barbiturates. You know, like what are those things?
Black Beauties, right?
No, that was speed. It was like
Quaalude. Oh yeah.
No, it was. There was a name for it. I can't remember it, dude. But it was like barbiturates, dude.
Yeah, I can't. I'm trying to think of the 80s.
Slows your brain down.
They started to make, you know, the Valium and the Xanax, but there was a more generic that I remember in the 80s.
Yeah.
That was coming around. But, you know, coming out of the hippie culture, and it was kind of really glorified, you know, doing acid and dropping in and all that. But that music back then, again, because, you know, you got the disco came in the 70s, and that's when people tried to rehash. But if you look at even the early Beatles stuff, it's pretty much
punk rock.
Yeah,
it's punk rock.
You
They're in
put
black
me or
leather
you-
pants and black. Yeah, the Silver
know.
Beatles. They were called the Silver Beatles, playing in Germany and stuff. Yeah, I was just talking to them with Richard. Yeah, their songs are like there's like Peter Bast and stuff. The early band before they had Ringo and all.
You know who they idolized though?
Who?
Like Buddy Holly.
Yeah. Which is an archetype of all the rock and roll. Yeah, Bill Haley also. You know,
What's
those guys.
the Indian surf guitar? I'm drawing a serious blank. If we are
Ravi
alive right now,
Shankar?
and I'm sure
Ravi
someone's gonna.
Shankar?
No, he's an Indian guy. Hardly ever gets. I know someone's probably putting it up on the live stream here, but He's oh God, I can't even remember the freaking song. But he's one of those that was considered for what he was doing as punk rock. Because basically, if you break down punk rock, it's just a simple 3-chord form of music, and it's not overproduced, and it's it's easy. It's how garage bands really kind of are.
Yeah.
Which is a style that you still carry to this day. Which, speaking of, so how many albums, I'm going to jump way ahead. How many albums have you put out right now? And they're mostly 7-inch, right? Do you do full length or?
No, I have like, I think 2 CDs, 3 full lengths, a 10-inch, bunch of 7 inches. I couldn't tell you, but a lot. And I'm published in many countries.
Yeah.
The last thing I did was going to be a vinyl record out of Venezuela right before they collapsed, but it became a CD. But my music's in the Library of Congress in Venezuela. It's just like people were saying, you're anti-American, that's an enemy of the state, and all this. It was weird, People were like getting on me about this, but and then I just did this German thing. But I'm registered in in a bunch of international countries through BMI, and I'm in the Library of Congress in USA. I'm a registered songwriter. People don't realize that it's registered. I have a songbook there.
That is insane.
Yeah, UC system. I was telling you about Diana. She did her capstone at UC San Marcos, and they had just finished building the campus there, and they built a recording studio. And a kid who was a fan of the Spent Idols, who played with Gabriel and New American Mob, was running the newspaper there. So they did this whole thing. We recorded the first CD in the UC San Marcos brand new sound recording class, and that was her capstone. Well, if you took that class, I don't know how long they did this, you had to learn the Spent Idols songbook.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you took that UC San Marcos recording class, you learned Spent Idols songs. People don't know this.
That's so crazy.
We played for San Diego Marathon on a regular basis but we played at Carlsbad Marathon.
Yeah.
But, I've got, we played supermarket openings. We did all kinds of stuff because she was involved in the college stuff. She was playing in my band in the early 2000s, and she just opened us up to this academia stuff. So she's like, hey, we can go play this stuff. So I just did it for fun, just for the experience of doing it.
Yeah.
But, I got thank you letters from cities, and it was different from in the 90s when they're fucking suing me and shit for causing damage and stuff.
Right.
They sued me at Bringle Terrace because Bringle Terrace would do these summer concerts for kids. And when we finally played, a fucking riot broke out. So they tried to charge me with inciting a riot, but I had these high-powered union attorneys, and I just paid $500 for the deductible from it was insured, so I just paid the deductible and it went away. But they were trying to prosecute me on that,
Wow.
Yeah, and then there I am, and you got to learn a Spent Idols song in the UC system, San Marcos. It's pretty ironic, right? Yeah, nobody knows that.
Well,
we do now.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, that was 2002. So I don't know how long it lasted. Maybe just one semester. I don't know.
Well, that's they're definitely not playing a cockroach song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, here, you have to learn this song. It's called "Fuck You."
Yeah.
There's 2 chords.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
And
one.
Just sing whenever you want, and then have someone else scream off mic.
Yeah. Well, in the 80s, I didn't. It was loose. I don't even remember the songs. But in the 90s, I did have direction. You couldn't see it in our presentation, but I was like documenting the songs, licensing them, just in case, because I wanted to make it a legitimate band, and it is.
Unlike Chris.
Oh, Chris, yeah.
Chris from Agents
he
of
sold
One.
his soul for $30,000. Chris, I'm so sorry, bro. That was a great interview, you guys. That was a great interview with Chris. That was I just wanted to listen. What a story. He really is accomplished.
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
I was sitting here, like, he comes from a whole different. He's at 15, wants to be a rock star. Like, he wants to be a baseball player. Like, he wants to be a soldier. At 15, I didn't care about any of that. I wanted to get high and go surfing, and figure out a way that I don't have to work. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But not like I want to be a rock star or I want to be. Yeah, it just wasn't like that. This kid knew what he wanted, made it happen, but he got eaten by the machine. I didn't want to do that, but I thought I could do all this stuff that Lynn was doing, that Tim is doing, that Vans is doing myself. I learned silk screening. I printed my own stickers. I printed my own T-shirts. I did everything in-house to save money because I had resources. It wasn't like I was poor, I had at the time, I think I had an $80,000 a year job I had come out of, so I was like, I could do stuff, I owned property and stuff, so people didn't know that. I remember we played Showcase Showdown, and I forget the guy's name, but he was like, we played there quite a bit, right? Once we play, even to this day, they may not want us to play, but once we play, they're like, you can come anytime you want. Just let us know when you want to play. Like, that's the experience I try to give them, right?
Right.
But so I'm laying behind. We get to the showcase showdown in Corona early. I'm laying in.
That was the Ezot thing.
Ezot.
Yeah. So he didn't know when he called our number that he's speaking to me. Okay, I can do this persona like I did.
So you're pretending you're like the
I'm
manager?
the band. Yeah, I'm Silver or something. I'm Maurice Silver or something, or Michael Silver or something. Like I'm a Jewish manager, rock manager, right? I'm doing that, get that stick, right?
Michael Silverman.
Because in the structure of it, you have to have that stuff, because even though it's non-union, you're working, there's union contracts there. So you're breaking the law. So I knew this stuff because I was involved in the union. Mm-hmm. And so I'm laying behind the showcase showdown, and the owner shows up to open the venue. We're there way early. And he goes, "Oh, are you in the spin house?" I'm like, yeah, I'm in the spin house. He goes, "Hey, I wanted to ask you, I want to talk to your manager, your booking agent." Yeah, I had a manager and a booking agent, so all me. And it's a front man. I have 3 positions in the band.
Right.
All slightly different names.
Yeah.
And he's like, "When I call the number and I talk to your booking agent and your manager, who am I talking to? Who am I actually talking to?" I said, "You're talking to me." He's like, "What?" He's like, does the double. He's like, "Come on, man, I'm not talking to you. You're like laying in the gutter. You look like a fucking hobo." He's like, he's like, I'm like, he goes, "I'm talking to you." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're talking to me."
In a glass office.
Yeah,
and I'm
that's what
waiting
he's picturing. He's thinking we got representation.
Espresso.
He's thinking we got representation, And he's like, he just was like, "God damn." He just thought it was so cool. He's like, "Wow, man." He goes, "How do you know about this?" Because I made him pay me for a show he canceled. I got $300 from him.
As you should.
Yeah, I made him do it. So that's why he wanted to know who he was talking to. He's like, "Who the fuck are you talking to that's telling you guys this?" Because none of these bands, I don't want these bands knowing that
so you actually had contracts, right?
It was a verbal contract, but they bumped us.
Nice.
We didn't get to play. So I'm like, "You owe me $300.
Yeah.
That's the booking fee,
Yep.
And I made him give it to me. So he wanted to know who, I need to talk to this guy. Maybe he can work for me. That's what he's thinking.
Because even like when I was tour managing, we'd have shows canceled, and I made sure the people paid.
Yeah.
I go, "We're here. You cancel the show, you got to pay us our guarantee."
Yeah, we just drove 100 miles over here, man.
Yep.
It's like, it's not free. But, that concept's gone today. I mean, you just pay to play, even if you're not selling tickets, because you got to rehearse, it costs money. It's not as simple as it was back then, But yeah, he was like, I blew his mind. He's like, "What the fuck? Who are you? Who is this guy?"
Did you do the thing where you wear a different hat for each different person?
I'm just behind the phone. I'm behind the phone talking to cops, getting out of legal shit. I'm doing all kinds of stuff. And plus, I got representation. I can have my dad's lawyer write these guys a letter. And then it's a fucking powerful
As long
lawyer.
as it's on a legal.
It's a
like
real
legal
lawyer.
head.
It's a real lawyer. I have the lawyer do it, and it's free through my union. I was involved in my union, behind the scenes of my union. So I just, like, this guy goes before Congress. They're like, the guy got me the witnesses. He's like, "Get this guy, you won't lose the case."
Yeah.
Like that. So generally people don't think like that. They say, "I'm going to sue you," but I actually have
What
sued
I was trying to
Right.
say was you got that letter that had that the legal representation with
It's
the,
a real letterhead from a
letterhead,
lawyer's
yeah.
attorney.
That's what I was trying to say.
Written by his secretary.
that always looks good.
Oh, yeah.
Scared the shit out of people back then. Now I don't know so much. It's like, I don't know, but I got.
Well,
out of
they
all
would
kinds
send
of
it
stuff.
through Twitter, saying we're still.
Yeah. You get a letter from my lawyer if you cross the Spin Idols.
Yeah, but that makes it even more dangerous. But also, it shows the intelligence. You can't pigeonhole. Okay, so this guy, when he's on stage, he looks like he just crawled out of a manhole. But when I talk to him on the phone, all of a sudden I have this deal
businessman.
that I want this guy to help me out on because I bought this car and it's a fucking lemon.
Yeah.
Michael Silverman, can you help me out?
Yes, right, exactly.
Yeah, let me do my show first. I'm on stage with the band.
As long as they don't meet me in person, I'm going to win. Meet me in person, I might do 15 to 20 in prison.
If they recognize your voice and they go, "Oh my God, this is Mike Spent."
I'll pick up this persona.
Yeah.
I'm a vocalist. I can inflect my voice.
Makes it even more dangerous.
Yeah, it was
which
fun.
is even more. But realistically, that's
It worked back then. I don't think it would work
I don't think it
now.
would work today.
No.
Yeah, and it was naive. There was more people had more rights generally. It's
Well,
just-
we didn't have the social media back then.
no, and the social
Nothing-
media. It's
nothing was real
It's
time.
a big problem to me. It's a big freaking problem, but it ain't going anywhere. It's the new world, But
yeah.
Until we get hit by China and all electronics get taken out.
yeah, the EMP. Once the EMP takes everything out, and we go to like The Last of Us. And it's like
back to the Stone Age.
But I always have lived, like when I was a kid, my favorite movie was this Vincent Price movie called The Last Man on Earth, which is like that movie Will Smith did later on with the vampires and stuff.
Legend.
Yeah,
is that it?
Is that what it is?
I Am Legend.
I Am Legend,
okay,
right? I've always lived like that. I still live like that. I wanted as a kid to be that last man on Earth. People bugged the fuck out of me, and I just wish I was alone on this planet, could do whatever I want. And I lived like that in Mexico.
Yeah.
Nobody knows where I'm at. I'm just hunkered in this little bunker in Mexico, living like everybody's a zombie.
You read a song about that at all?
No, I'm telling you guys. But yeah, I lived like that. That movie influenced me in the way that I pursued life in our society. It's like I live right outside of it. I exist among you guys. I say you guys, the world we live in, the society. But I'm not. I don't really feel a part of it. And I'm watching out because they'll suck the fucking blood out of me.
Yeah, I can definitely relate.
I know
to that.
you can. I know you can. I know you can too.
I question it usually the first thing in the morning when I'm down here. I get in front of the TV at 4:30 with my coffee, and I'm staring at it, going, "What the hell am I going to find to keep my mind occupied?" Because sometimes I wake up and I'm so insecure. I don't know. I might have been up since 1 o'clock in the morning thinking about stuff.
Sleep. I don't sleep
because Jerm overthinks.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
But you got to find some peace, Jerm. You got to make some peace.
I do. It's just been kind of rough.
Too much stuff going into his brain.
I know, and I can relate to you. And we've talked about stuff like this. But I found peace, and I'm able to forgive and forget and stuff. And you'll get to that point when you just get sick and tired of feeling like that, and then you just surrender to it, and it goes away.
Well, we're about to
start over again.
We're starting on Thursday. Sam and I, we're going to write our sophomore album for Death the
Right
Asaurus.
on. Good for you.
So to actually have a project that I know for sure is solid, and it's going to be he and I, and I've known him since pre-Soma. Mm-hmm. So the fact that we're writing this album like 14 years later, I'm going to be able to vent a lot of stuff, and it's going to be able to keep me focused. The wife's happy with it.
The Soma album.
And it's realistically,
Soma Exposed.
It's not even going to be about Soma.
No,
it's going to be the furthest thing, which is, the way that Sam writes, it's a little bit different. In our first album's a lot of like, I don't know, just your pop stuff. It's just pop, rock and roll. Okay. So to be able to be in that place, I should be able to help keep things focused so I don't have to worry about as much. And then I can, find a happy place. I get stressed out, and that's where on stage I became the maniac.
Yeah.
Which was always fun whenever
to us, dude.
And when we would play, the side stage, when one of my bands would play with the Spent Idols, I'm doing the show.
I have pictures of you, by the way. I was trying to find them. I have photos of you.
There's some of the infamous ones is my fuck shirt, the nylons, and then of course my bondage pants, and then whatever creepers, and then I have earlier stuff of Poor.
Mm-hmm. I have Poor pictures.
Yeah.
And I have a handwritten Poor sticker.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so
ballpoint
awesome.
Pen.
Yeah, I haven't seen some of that stuff in years, when
I find it, I'll shoot you over some pictures.
Cool. But that's the release, just to get up there on stage, and then that's when I can find my balance. So then, if I start watching the news and I start losing my mind, but a lot of times, like before this, I start thinking a few days and I'm doing research and I'm looking at old stuff of whoever's going to come in. Mm-hmm. And with you, it's like there's so many years that we have behind us, but a lot of these stories we didn't really talk about because whenever you would come and play,
you're always working, and you're serious when you're working.
Yeah,
I mean, you get us all lined up. Wait over here, you guys. Like don't leave this area.
Yeah,
we're like wandering around. Guys are wandering around,
which makes me think of Gabriel and Henry walking around and thinking, okay, they need to be corralled in. What trouble are they going to get into?
I'm like, hey, you guys, you just wait over here.
Because we were dealing with controlled chaos, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of stress.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So you had to have your head on a swivel. You're like watching over all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
We had to worry about the neighborhood. We had to worry about.
We had our spot right next to the chain link fence.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the funny thing about that is to be, the punk rock and being punk rock or whatever, just being a kid. So we knew what to expect because we were not that much older than the majority of people playing the club.
Right.
So we know what to expect. If we hear a bottle break, someone needs to go find out where it is and then shush, the people in or out. Cops are going to be there. I'm not going to talk to the cops. I'm going to stand there all stout and fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. But Jerry or someone else in the front can deal with them, and everyone had their place to keep it organized because we know what's going to happen. The minute we let go, it could turn into
Somebody
just
get hurt, killed.
Oh yeah,
You know.
but it's
That
still
happened too.
Yeah.
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 But we also got to, have it be. I remember this from the early days. Was one of the things that Len and Mike would talk about is it's got to have a bit of that chaos element at shows, because if it's just kind of like a jewel show for whatever reason, or if it has that. What would you call it? Sort of persona, knowing it doesn't have that bit of danger, especially in
Soma
when we're
definitely
downtown.
had that air of danger.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
even though
Had a
the
seedy
parents
side.
were leaving the kids there
Yeah.
eventually,
Yeah.
it still had that.
But even Union, I don't remember a lot of little kids there.
Oh no,
Yeah.
because it
So-
started off. It had to be 18 and up, and then
Because Metro was where the kids were.
Yeah,
you have
the
like
young
12-year-olds.
Yeah, I remember a bunch of kids, and then I remember. I mean, where was it where we played? What? It was the
Union.
second venue, right?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it was the first.
It was the first.
Yeah, Union.
Was it the first?
trying to think. So
There
What
was
year?
a chain link fence. It was probably
well, we've had them at both places.
maybe
Yeah,
at both places.
So what
yeah.
year?
I think
What year was
probably-
it that you played?
I don't know, 95, 94, I don't know.
Well, 94 was when Union closed down and Metro opened. So
Yeah,
if you played 95, then you played Metro.
they could have played one show
There was a chain link fence. I
because
know
that's
that.
where Daisy Chainsaw was. That
Yeah,
venue.
that's where we played. What years was that?
That was Union, right?
yeah,
Yeah, that was
yeah. So that was by 94. We were out of there.
89.
Okay.
88 to 94.
Yeah, and I came in 89.
And
So
then where'd it go?
it well after that we did did a couple, either 3, maybe even 4 shows. I don't even remember. I believe we did 3 at the Scottish Rite Center, and then Len had finally found, because we would scout for venues. I did not think I was coming back. As a matter of fact, I was just talking to someone yesterday, I think, and I was not going to go back to the new Soma. I wasn't going to go to Metro until Len had basically threatened me. I was like,
You know what's funny? Because like you talk about the Scottish Rite Center. Well, when we had issues at Metro after you left, and I was doing production for Golden Voice, we actually ended up doing shows at a bunch of different locations.
oh, that's right.
When
Yeah.
Metro was kind of on the way down,
Right.
so I was doing shows at the O'Brien Pavilion in Del Mar,
Yeah.
and then a couple other.
He was
venues.
floating around, huh? Just where
I was
Yeah.
I was floating around, which
Yeah.
sucked because that's not my element.
Yeah.
Yeah, and until he and Scott Rayner had opened up the newest one, which
Yeah.
is
Is that
I mean,
by the
it's a
sports
really
arena? Is
yeah,
that-
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
It's
that's
the
what I
old
thought. Yeah. I never
Man
even stepped
theaters,
foot in.
yeah.
I'd been in there before for some. Was it a movie theater? Is that what
Man
it-
Theater.
Okay. Yeah, I've never been in that one, but I know it's been there. It's still there, huh?
yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the longest lasting Soma ever.
Okay.
That's,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
been over. It's
I would have never played Soma if it wasn't for this. guy.
21
I wouldn't
years
have.
now. I
I
believe.
didn't even care.
yeah.
You know?
Because that opened October of 2002.
Yeah. Okay.
That's crazy. So it'll be 21 years.
Wow.
Essentially 20 years right now.
Yeah.
But it's, the element of what it is now versus what it was is, night and day. I walk in there and it's so much darker, it seems. And
Well, we don't even know what it's like now that Live Nation put a ton of money
Yeah.
into it. So
It looks
Yeah,
like big
probably way
chandeliers. And,
different.
it's just,
it's not gritty like it was.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, even if you think about it, where we were in downtown, that was the quintessential punk rock club, what you would think of. There's the homeless people. And the more and more people that I talk to in groups and stuff, or just meeting random about the podcast, they'll say, oh, yeah, Union. I used to go down there and I would stash my skateboard. And the more and more I talk to people about this, I mean, girls and guys and all the like, you could probably have gone and sat there with the homeless people and spotted a few dozen skateboards, and I didn't realize how heavy. And the more with this season, the more skateboarding keeps coming up.
Oh wow.
And I'm like, I had no idea because when I was doing that, I didn't talk about skate.
Yeah.
That's just what I do.
Yeah. I remember you skateboarding around. Yeah.
But now it's like it's all those things came in together, and that place, the back part, the parking lot where the homeless people were, they weren't homeless people. Those people were freaking bums.
Yeah.
It was dirty. It was gross.
Yeah.
And, you know, you had to be
They were
18
there
and
first.
up. And, oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was before all the homeless thing, that started.
Yeah.
That was
Before
bums.
it became a hashtag and a way of life. And, you know, oh, this is great because I could do meth all day and steal you.
I miss those days.
Yeah.
You know,
well, all downtown San Diego was like that.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
I was young.
Yeah.
They had all those tattoo parlors and shit for the Navy. By the
Sailor Jerry's.
Yeah, dude. I have a couple Sailor Jerry's tattoos.
But if you remember, there was, you know, you would actually knew every bum's name.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't hundreds of them.
Where that mall was, they put the mall in where they all lived. What's that mall down there? I mean, it's been
Parkway
since the
Plaza.
80s. Is that Parkway Plaza right there in downtown San Diego, right down the road?
Yeah. Parkway Plaza. But, you know, the reason why we got kicked out is the city had decided they were going to gentrify downtown. Literally. So they put those
that's California's
across the way. It
model.
was just all warehouses, and they turned that into high end.
Yes, yeah, they're doing that up and down the coast. They're going up.
Yeah,
multi-use.
They're doing that in Hollywood.
Everywhere. Multi-use structures.
They're gonna supposedly tear down the Viper Room.
Yeah.
Put a big
Yeah, it's
building
gone.
there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's
They're
gone.
going to put up a parking lot.
Yeah.
That's gonna it's gonna be
Yeah.
But
high rise.
Yeah, and then they'll say this is affordable living, and well, it's all hypocrisy.
Yeah.
And we're digressing, but then with Metro, that's when things changed. We literally, when people would start, when you would come in to get to be part of the Soma family, you had to be one of, depending on the night, 5, 6, 8 people that would go around the parking lots. We would clean the parking lots cleaner than they were all the rest of the time when there was no shows.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, we might as well
Probably had to
power
stay in
wash.
business.
Well, yeah, because we kind of had to work with the city.
Yeah, you have to keep them happy.
So here's, and that's why when I was on the cover of the Tribune and did that interview, I was so nervous because it's like, you don't want, and back then, I had all my piercings and everything.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And probably the mohawk then too. I'm sure I did.
You were wearing a ball cap.
And yeah,
Jerry remembers.
probably my postman ball cap, but I didn't want to be that guy, right? I didn't want to be the face.
Spokeshole.
So when the cover comes out, there's a picture of me and then the little, whatever tagline for it. But on the opposite side of the tagline, and I have the piece somewhere.
That was like 4 pages. When that came
Yeah,
out.
it was a big article.
Yeah.
Article with maybe, I don't know, half.
I remember it.
Maybe like
Yeah.
what 300 words from me.
Yeah.
But so on the cover, they have that with the little tagline. On the other side was something about a rapist or something. So when my mailman sees me and he's like, "Oh, you got to sign my paper.
That's cool.
You're famous."
That's
and he's
cool.
like, "What's up with this?" And I'm like, "I don't know." But I
Yeah.
signed it, and
That's
he
cool.
gave me a
Yeah.
postman hat because he thought it was so fucking
It is cool. It is cool. Good on you.
And the complete opposite of that is when Len had his boat and he was, planning on traveling, and it's down here at the marina, he didn't want me there. And
So
I found
you didn't
out.
work on it, huh?
Oh, no.
Because I remember people were working on that.
Yeah,
boat,
Jason.
Right? Yeah.
I can't remember his last name, but he was another one of those, would work with me cleaning up the lots.
That was the late 90s when he was
And-
getting ready to leave.
Yeah.
That's when he sold Metro.
Yeah.
So I think he
Sail around
started.
the world.
Yep.
Yeah, I think around 94, because I left in 97. So probably around 95, 96, he started that. And Jason had told me straight up, he goes, "Look, Len does not want you around there. He doesn't want to ruin his reputation." And I'm like, I'm on the fucking cover of the Union Tribune.
Ruin his
As
reputation.
he put him on the cover. And I
Yeah, he don't want to be
You were
the face. He might
you
get
were the manager,
audited.
right? Didn't it say manager
Yeah.
of Soma?
Yeah, but to Len, I was, the peon that booked all the bands until he took them over. So I was always confused. I never, me, even to this day, I don't really understand. And I was talking to a kid because he was doing this flyers thing. And I sent him some flyers. I said, yeah, these are from back in the day, some of my shows. And he had put a quote, "These are from Jerm," and he used to run Soma. So I immediately seen it and said, "No, I'm not the owner.
Yeah.
I ran it, kind of. I don't know." But then we just went back and forth because to this day it's weird.
You were a building manager and you were the production manager.
But I did everything from booking shows
I know
to
he's a booking
flyers.
agent.
just
to
pretty much everything.
Yeah, he's jack of all
rebuilding the
trades.
club,
Yeah.
opening,
You were
closing.
Mr. Soma. You definitely were Mr. Soma.
And so, I mean, I guess it's flattering that I was put in that position, but it's still,
It's a cool thing.
and then at the end, when I had to hide my face because I supposedly had everyone and their mother out, and my wife would, we talk about things. It didn't end very
I remember you saying, "Hey, Mike, I hear you're like Malcolm McLaren." Do you remember telling me that? Mm-hmm. What were you hearing? Because I was like, "What the fuck is this?" That's got to be from Gabriel and stuff, right? Or where was that from?
It probably just, in hindsight, thinking about it now, I would say because the controlled chaos.
Yeah.
Because of the way that you controlled
I had
the
to
band.
control them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But that wasn't just a for on stage thing. You had to control them.
Yeah.
Because they could
They were
get
always
a little...
getting fired and quitting and stuff and begging
Yeah.
to come back, and it was just insane. It's
But-
just like in doing drugs, and I'm like, "Hey, man, we don't drink, we don't drug. We're musicians here."
Yeah.
That's how
Was
I
it
approached it.
So it was a personality conflicts.
Well, it's just like, Gabriel wanted to, okay, when I broke up the band, we had a record contract. He picked up my record contract from Flipside. I was through Flipside up in Hollywood, and then he became New American Mob. Well, in the beginning, they played 2 gigs of Spent Idols without me, because it wasn't Spent Idols. Right?
Yeah.
It was like the band without me. So he bleached his hair blonde because I had blonde hair, and he's like trying to be me. And then he gets he has that deal, and he double sells the deal, sells the same CD to 2 different parties. So 2 CDs come out about the same time, and there's a big scandal over this because he's just ripped everybody off, and then the band just imploded.
Yeah.
But it was like that kind of stuff. So he was always trying to push me, take my girl, just bugging the fuck out of me, because he's probably doing drugs, I love the dude. To this day, I love the dude, but he's a mess. He's a hard dude to deal with, and he's just the stuff he posts on social media. It's just insanity, just absolutely insane. He goes by Gaby Omega. So there's Henry Trejo, Spent Idols, Gaby Omega, Jesse Valadez, rest in peace, Jesse, the drummer.
Rest in peace.
They have Facebook presences, and if you guys hear this, please go say hi to them because they are part of the Spent Idols, big part.
Oh yeah.
And then there's John Pankoff, Johnny Fire, big part. There's Jose Navarro from Oceanside. Go say hi to him on Facebook. But I wanted to, since I'm bringing, Jesse made me realize something. So there was a guy in the 2000s. I had a guy who was a local Encinitas rock star guy. There was a band called Wally's World. Did you guys ever hear of Wally's World? They could have been the singer was like somebody from Led Zeppelin. They were like this 80s. They wore spandex and shit like that dude with the shaggy haircut, Rod Stewart. This is that era, right?
Early yoga
They were
pants.
fucking good, right? They were really good.
Yeah.
But they were local boy partier boys, So they never made. They actually have the award of the worst song ever, the worst music video ever made, and you can Google that. And that's Wally World. And this guy Aaron, who was like a rock and roll guitar player savant. I used him in the 2000s because I known him since he was 17. He just recently passed away last week. Yeah, Aaron Meyer. His Facebook page is still up. A lot of people loved Aaron. He's a good dude. You never met him or anything, but he was a good dude. He died. Okay.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace,
Rest in
Aaron.
peace.
Yeah, because I have recordings of him and photographs, and hopefully I'll get them on social media. And then this other guy, Earl Smith, who was in Vegas, and he was doing a Stig Stench radio show. He recently died, this week. So I just wanted to mention those guys, to whoever's listening, and just like they're gone, So yeah,
It's happening more and more now.
more and
that
more.
We're getting older.
It's suddenly dying.
Yep.
Just suddenly dying. There's a third person. I can't. My brain just went dead. I don't know. Aaron bothers me because I've known him since he was 17, and I used to babysit his kids at a point, and just an old friend and a hell of a guitar player, and my go-to guy if I needed somebody in a pinch because he just knew the songs, could learn, and he was really freaking good. But I had a lot of raw talent, But yeah, Aaron Meyer passed away. Just too much, a lot in 1 week.
Yeah, not good.
Not good
at all.
Not good. Yeah.
What about Darren?
Fuckface or Darren Loans?
Loans.
Yeah, man. I called him Happy because he never smiled. I got him to cut his death lock off, and he hated me. But we're still friends, and
Okay.
he's on social media. I tagged him in the invite, so I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Darren was great. He was like a rhythm guitar player and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
Darren. Yeah. What was his band called? The Confederates.
Confederates,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Originally was River Bottom Nightmare Band.
Yeah, River Bottom Nightmare Band. Yeah.
Because we went up. I used to hang with them a lot because
Yeah.
I have a few pictures. We did this Hollywood trip, Jerry.
Okay.
This was the craziest thing. The weirdest people, eclectically, and we all went up in that station wagon that I had. And I don't know why we took that, but there was Darren, Justin from River Bottom Nightmare Band, Jane, who ended up
That was Darren's girlfriend, right? Was that
his
your girlfriend?
his wife.
Too? His wife.
Yeah. Yeah.
You used to date her too, right?
Yeah, for a short period.
Yeah. See, I think that's where I know you from her.
And she sent me a letter, a Dear John letter, that I should seek some mental health experts.
We all should.
Because I was a little loopy.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I worked at Soma. Of course I was. But and then Christina, remember super tall Christina that ended up marrying the big mulatto guy, security guard. I cannot remember his name for the life of me, but one of our big, like, muscular
Nathan. Big Nate.
Yeah.
Big Nate. And then he was with us, and
For security.
Kelly.
I wonder whatever happened to Big Nate.
Actually, Kelly might be watching this live right now, or pop into this later. But yeah, that was because I have the pictures somewhere.
Wow.
That was the craziest trip up to L.A. It was just I do not know why we went in my station wagon.
Yeah.
And that was when I was living up by Metro. But I always have fond memories of Darren from back in the day.
Oh, I love Darren. Yeah,
So at
we had
some
a fun.
point-
We got into big. I was like maybe that's where you got the Malcolm McLaren thing. If you were tight with him, because me and him got into it, and because I was very controlling, like you were saying. And I don't even know what it was about, but we did have words one night and stuff. He was ready to kill me. I was
Yeah.
like Lynn to him, he was like ready to let me have it. But we worked it out and everything, and we're friends on Facebook and stuff. But no, Darren's fucking great.
Oh yeah,
Darren's fucking.
he's
great.
been in town a couple times, but I'll
Yeah.
get a message
Where's
when
he
it's
at
super
now?
late.
Where's he at?
Crap, I don't remember, to be honest.
Okay.
He might actually, he might pop in on this. I'll be able to look through and get the comments later.
I went to this antique sale that was over at one bunk, and
Mm-hmm.
next door was this building, and the lady in there had a Confederate shirt on. I said, I
no
know
way.
those guys. And she's like, oh, yeah, you know Darren. And she knew Darren and his wife and stuff. And
Yeah.
I can't remember her name, but she works in there. It's like, right, I think it is one bunk. She works in one bunk.
Okay.
She's like the manager in there. But she had a fucking Confederate shirt on. I
Yeah.
said, I know him really well. And I said he was actually in my band for a little bit and stuff.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you, how did he end up being in?
We needed a guitar player, and I forget how he was a fan of the band, and we got him to do it. But I was like, hey, man, you got to cut your hair. And he was like, I'm not cutting my hair. But his wife talked him into it, helped talk him into it. And then, I fired him or something. I don't remember what happened, but he was like, motherfucker, I cut my hair for you. It's like that. And he wasn't, he was upset, but
I know the feeling, because I ended up slowly but surely cutting my beard down
Yeah.
to nothing because it's since in 77.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is funny because it was my band that I formed. I got Stoney in, and then
Yeah.
Stoney and I formed the band, and then
Yeah.
I ended up leaving.
Yeah. And Stone
And,
kept going, right?
And Stoney kept going. There was 3 bass players. They landed on Pete from Rocket from the Crypt.
Okay.
And playing. But
Yeah.
because I remember kind of distinctly and being pissed about it. The beard just didn't really look.
Yeah, you want to have the image,
The
and that's
image.
what I was telling Darren, But then it didn't, It's like I forget what it was. It was just like a personality thing. He's a lot younger than me. You know what I mean? But he's a great dude. I just didn't have the patience I had. He didn't do anything. It's just me being a dick.
Yeah.
It's just me being an asshole.
Well, then again, just through the conversation, we know this has been a long time coming. So when you have a project that you've been doing and
I have focus, yeah.
You know.
And I want him, and he did it begrudgingly, and then I was like, okay, I'm done with you now. So
Yeah.
But he ended up coming back too. So it's just like I forget. I couldn't even tell you what was over, but it was over nothing.
Yeah. Because I just remember seeing some pictures at one point, and then you had posted something about a new album coming up.
Yeah.
A while back. Remember, and I asked you, there's someone named Jerm in the band.
Yes.
And
yeah,
I had
yeah,
to double
yeah,
check to make sure that I wasn't in a
Yeah,
band.
that was the German 7/8. We were going to have this record contract the beginning of last year, but the label fell apart. But we were waiting to sign the contract, and it didn't happen. So it's like it's kind of the story of the band. I mean, the things just don't fruit. The tree doesn't bear fruit or whatever. But yeah, I thought that the album thing was like we were supposed to do this contract thing, and I was waiting for the contract. It kept getting pushed back, and then finally it was a company out of like the Bay Area, and then the parent company was in Australia, and they actually had like Led Zeppelin and big punk bands and big rock bands on the thing, and they had picked this dude up who did like the Warped Tour circuit, and it's kind of a rock star from like Sacramento or something, and he had his little label, and he was like signing all these bands, all my friends' bands up in LA and stuff. So he's like finally got to us, asked us to be on. I was like, sure, we'll do it, and it fell apart because of COVID. I think COVID kind of killed the whole thing.
Yeah,
Killed a lot.
Yeah, it killed a lot. So that was the album. We were working on that. But we want to do a second German 7-inch, so that song you opened up with is going to be on there, and then this I Became a Punk, which is a Big Audio Dynamite song, Mick Jones song. It's probably a Clash song, didn't make the record or something, but it kind of tells like mine and Richard's story. Richard's the guitar player, the guy at the Platinum record, about just the lyrics of it's kind of like how we got into punk rock. It's kind of our story,
Yeah.
So it's Mick's song, so I edited. I kind of changed some of the lyrics to fit us, and it's like a 3-minute long song, but it should be pretty good. I have a demo I'll play you after. The vocals are just scratch on it, and the guitar playing, Richard's guitar playing sounds great, but against my vocals, what we did, it's not something I play on live for anybody.
Right.
So, but I'll let you guys hear it so you can sample
Fair
it.
enough.
And like the song is like Big Audio Dynamite style, but it's really like a Slade song or an AC/DC song. So Richard picked up on that. Me and Richard picked up on it. So it's guitar and me, for my vocal parts, and then we're gonna put there's keyboard on it and stuff. So it'll be a cool song. It'll be our song, kind of like that song you opened up with. That's a Godfather song, and Peter Cohen is the singer of the Godfathers, and I saw the Godfathers here a number of times in the early '90s, right? And I love the Godfathers. They're kind of a cleaned up punk rock band from London from the mid '80s, and I was a fan of it, and I hit him up. I said, "Hey man, I want to cover this song." He's like, "Have at it," So I got his blessing, and we did that song. So we didn't write that. It's a Godfather song, a #1 hit song for them in 1986 because I said so. Yeah.
Wow.
So
that's cool.
So we're doing
Has
this
he
cover
heard it?
thing. Yeah, he liked it. Yeah.
Well, that's a good sign. If you said don't ever put this out, then
No. It's like it's good. And then we're doing The Passenger, and
oh really?
Yeah. I think I sent you The Passenger, didn't I? Yeah, it's a demo version, but I have a problem you playing it.
Yeah, but I don't know if we can.
Yeah.
Because you don't own it.
Yeah. Okay. Then don't do it.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll figure it out. We can play it afterwards. Plus, going live, they wouldn't be able to hear it, as we're doing this. But so, where are you recording? What studio are you in right now?
Well, I use a place called Pawn Shop up in Van Nuys for my mastering and stuff. But Richard has an in-house studio called Into the Dark.
I like the name.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of coming in here, and you come in here and it's brighter.
Yeah, Red Rum. Yeah, there's got like Mockingbird Lane vibe in front of your house. Yeah.
That's cool.
Into the black. Yeah, and that's where we record. We do our scratch stuff there and work out the guitar parts and all the stuff. Me and Richard, and then Pat Todd's on that Godfather song. He's from the Rank Outsiders, and the Lazy Cowgirls are kind of popular in the '90s.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, they're good.
I have to always look at Jerry. Did the Lazy Cowgirls play?
Not that I remember.
No, but they have played down here. I think probably Casbah.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, probably with the Dragons or something like that, But they're
that sounds...
Yeah. But yeah, he's doing backing vocals on that. That's him growling. The guy can sing, But yeah, so I hope to have him on that, that Big Audio Dynamite song we're doing too in the backing vocals.
That's cool. Is this a permanent band, or are you just bringing in?
No, well, me and Richard we use a guy named Scott who is like a infamous LA San Fernando Valley punk drummer. We use him in the studio. We use this guy Boomer or Tony from the Dogs. I want to use Boomer on these. and in studio. And he plays in a band called Slam Denistas. And it's kind of like a late 60s kind of rock band, good rock and roll kind of band. And, so there's like this wrecking crew I use up there, Richard and stuff. But when we play live, Richard, like when we played Casbah in September, Richard's been playing with me since about 2016.
How was that show at the Casbah?
It was great. It was
a lot of heads there.
Yeah, it was packed.
Nice.
It was packed. We raised like $3,000, our band.
Mm-hmm.
So we were the headliner at the thing, But there was like a bunch of good bands there. I mean, it was like a wide spectrum of music, And it was really a good,
like the old Somo days.
It was good, dude. It was a fundraiser for reproductive rights.
Okay,
like all
that's
the money
right.
was donated. It's just a really neat experience. Megan did a really good job with the help from her friends and stuff it was a really fun thing. There was supposed to be another one this month, but I guess I haven't heard anything. So Tim had said they could have a second one because it was such a good event for the venue. So, but I haven't heard anything.
I'm sure they sold a lot of drinks.
Sold a lot of, it was just happening. It was like a get together, old punkers, like people I hadn't seen in years were there and stuff. It was cool. Yeah, it was really cool.
It's kind of like the last Casbah show we were at.
Yep.
Yeah, it was
spawned
really
all
cool.
this.
But I was surprised that Tim even let us play because he just said no to me every time I wanted to play, and my friends' bands are playing and, it's just like he's just not having it, But,
I've only played there once with Sin 77.
Okay,
Probably because
he's
of
Stoney. Yeah, he's good friends with Stoney.
But, and I'll see him every now and again. Well, he's married to Lucy.
Okay.
My keyboardist from Sin 77.
All right.
So, but realistically, I haven't
seen Stoney in a million years.
He's Scandinavia or whatever. I think he went back to his home.
Like Sweden or something?
Yeah, Sweden, maybe.
There was a guy named Van Orbitson. Did you guys ever? He did our first recordings, and he went back to Sweden. Van Orbitson, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen Stoney in years.
Yeah, me neither.
He came into my gallery. Actually, we had the owner of the gallery when we had the art gallery, the Lunatic Fringe.
Mm-hmm.
So the owner of the property and the owner of the gallery, I was under her basically. We ran the place. She was an equestrian.
Okay.
Used to go down to Bonita, and Stoney lived down in Bonita. That's where we used to practice down at Stoney's place for Sinsen.
Okay.
And she had ran into him at one of the ranches or whatever. They end up talking because he's riding horses back then. And lo and behold, they start talking about art, blah, blah, blah. And then me, I come up. So we had some of his art at the gallery. I have one of his pieces here.
Stoney's?
Yeah.
What kind of art did he do?
It's kind of, the one that I have is an old man. He would do,
like a painting?
Paintings, but mixed media.
Okay.
Paper, pasted,
all right.
rough brush.
Yeah.
Just an amazing artist.
Oh, wow.
Amazing artist.
I got to see it before I leave.
Yeah, it's just on the inside of the hallway there. But, I knew that he painted because I would, at his place for band practice, he had this one room and he would always have big easels up and...
Yeah, he had his own studio and stuff in there, right?
Yeah, we used to practice in the pool room.
Yeah.
So it was fun. Playing with Stoney was definitely an experience, and I wanted to work with him on this band specifically. And the 77 came in because I told him I wanted something to do with 77, good old-fashioned English.
Yeah, and
roots.
he liked all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was doing Diablo 44.
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
So the Sin came in because of stuff. I still have problems with my hands, arthritis and stuff.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a tiger balm, and it was called Sinjin.
Okay.
Something like
some
that.
Chinese balm, huh?
Yeah. And so we came up with Sin 77.
All right.
And Stoney and I would write stuff, and just playing with him was like, for me, because I'm a fan.
Yeah.
First and foremost. That's why I liked you guys playing. That's why
I'm a fan too. I'm the same way.
And I didn't want to. I always thought my band should be easily fit in with whatever show is going on. We only did one that I was like, I don't think we fit on this.
Yeah.
It's a little too poppy. But so working with Stoney and doing Sin 77 was kind of like, this is our roots. And so with that band, we were able to play L.A. and Orange County. We did a little bit more, and of course we played the Casbah.
Right on.
It was a little bit more mature.
Yeah.
than the rest of the projects.
Yeah.
Where I'm playing the Velvet or
Yeah.
Crowbar, and
Velvet was great though, right?
let's hope I make it through the night, sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know, especially with Cockroach.
Yeah.
So that being said, what would be some of the craziest shows that you had done? Like, what sticks out of like, I hope we get out of here. I
Well-
know we're getting paid one way or another, but
Well, when we were in Bringle Terrace, the place got destroyed. They ripped the sinks out of the bathrooms. They ripped they destroyed the place.
Yeah.
It was like this rec center. It got freaking destroyed. And, you know, and then we played in Austin, Texas. I forget, it was called the DMZ. And I started yanking they had like these hanging lights. I started yanking the lights, and there's like 300 fucking punk rockers in there, and they're like, he's ripping the lights down. The owner comes out and said, hey, I was like, well, this is what we do, you know, we'll fix it, we'll replace it, whatever, it's just light bulb.
Yeah.
And he's like just stopping us, right? And we're like not having it, and he's like, turn off the power. We're turning the power back on, and I didn't think we were going to get out of there, because these kids were like, how dare you desecrate our sacred ground, you know? And I'm just like, and when I got up on stage, I said, it's so great to be in Phoenix, Arizona, you know. And we're in Austin, Texas, and they're like, what the fuck? And you don't mess with Texas, right?
Right,
Like, those
right,
guys
yeah.
mean that.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And that's why I did it. I thought it would be funny, and they didn't think it was funny at all, you know. And they're like kids, like big kids, you know, like the big ones up front, like security, you know. I'm just like, they didn't get us, you know. So we got 3 songs off before they got us out of there, you know. We just barely got out of there.
What year was that?
Oh, God, 96, 97, I don't remember, something, you know. But, yeah, that was pretty hairy. And there's video of it.
did you get paid for that gig as well?
No, we just got out of there.
Specifically,
we just barely got out of there, dude. Like, barely got out. They were like, you know, fuck you guys, California motherfuckers, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like, no, we barely got out of there. I wasn't pressing it, you know. But yeah, those 2 were probably, you know, the 90s. And then the 80s, like, we just destroyed places. And I knocked out my friend one time because he was like slam dancing by me, and I pushed him, and he flew against the fucking, you know, I pushed a guy through a plate glass window one time by accident, because it was violent, you know. It was like in the 80s, you know.
Yeah.
It's just like, I knocked out my friend Tim Cook, rest in peace, Tim, who was a big original San Diego punk rocker from around here, Tim Cook.
Yeah, that name sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I was with a band in playing Vegas. It was House of Blues.
Okay.
Dropped a mic. They charged us $100. Then
Oh,
they
wow.
took 35% off the merch.
Wow.
Yeah, it
Just
was
for
like-
dropping the mic.
Yeah, that was automatic.
But didn't
We went
break
100.
it.
So basically, the band didn't get their $100 guarantee.
Yeah, they probably do that on purpose.
screen.
That's
Just a screen.
stupid. I mean, that's probably, you know, they're probably something they do.
Oh yeah,
Sounds like something they like to pull.
it was horrible. I'm like,
Yeah, like an SM58, you can't damage the screen on this.
yeah.
And what, it wasn't screwed on all the way?
Yeah, it was a 58.
It's got to be. That's a
Yeah,
standard.
it's-
But it's like, it sounds like a setup to me.
Yeah.
Because I knew like things like that. I knew things, you know, setups and stuff. That sounds like an old setup.
No, my favorite thing was somewhere in the Midwest. I would go to settle the show, get our money, and the promoter puts a gun on the table.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what I'm gonna steal your money?
Yeah.
Just pay me what you owe me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can relate to that, because there was times that guns were carried, I guess is a nice way to put it, and I was asked to hold it, which I'm not a gun guy. I mean, I got my Red Ryder, and I will shoot your eye out.
You'll take an eye
But
out.
I'm not a gun guy.
Christmas story. Yeah. Yeah.
But back in the 80s, that's kind of, I was the guy with the knives. You have to have them. But if you go in to do paperwork with, the club owner, whoever you have to deal with, and they start pulling that, it's like, yeah, you're kind of a douchebag, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Am I going to get paid? Are these going to be counterfeit? Is
Well,
this
they're just
money
like, we don't have to
laundering?
pay these guys, but did they pay you guys at all, or what the gun did he give you?
Yeah, we got paid.
But he's just like, don't press it. This is what you get.
He just laid his little gun down, and I just put my bigger gun down.
Did you? Did you really?
Yeah, he had his little 38, and I laid my 45.
Yeah.
That's great.
See, I would have taken out my keys,
Yeah.
put them down. Oh, I'll open a lock, put you in there.
I'll probably open a bottle in front of you.
No, it's funny now thinking about back in the day, especially the early days when people were trying to cut their teeth and do these shows. Mm-hmm. You know, it became by the 90s, it basically, well, probably by 2000, it really became kind of a more of a system and more of a machine.
Yeah.
You got people that started off cutting their teeth on trying to book shows, and then like there's someone who made a lot of money and bought a house off of a band that shot up.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've already brought up the name, but that sort of thing, you know, when a booking agent comes in and is, you know, bragging about having all this money, it's like, and off of a punk rock band.
Yeah, see, I can't stand that. And of course, everybody tries to do that, you know.
Yeah, but that became the new norm, was everyone was trying to get that piece of the pie. So I think...
Well, that's when everything went commercial. That's
yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, and then all the big tours. So, Jerry, you were on the Ozfest, right? Did you do the Warped Tour?
2000. I was supposed to do the Warped Tour in 2000.
That's
but
right.
I ended up doing Ozfest instead.
Yeah. Huh.
Which was a better tour.
Oh, yeah.
What year did the Warped Tour even start? Do you guys know?
I think it was 94.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah.
And I think they...
And that was Kevin Lyman from Golden Voice.
We gave him the idea, dude. The Scott guy got the idea from us. You know, he's like, you guys are perfect. And we want to put this thing out, you know.
Oh, yeah, and that's when Vans and all that.
Well, I think they got smart and they got a bunch of sponsors, so it kind of covered a lot
Dwayne Peters
of that
ended up doing a lot of those shows and stuff. But
with the bombs.
Yeah, but see, we were more popular than them. But he was a skate star, you know. That was
because that's when they merged everything.
Like Jerry Herrera is my favorite promoter from San Diego, and he's an old school '60s rock promoter, dude. He saw our band. He got my band. I mean, he got it better than I got it.
And that was a guy from the Spirit Club.
Yeah, and he put us with some really cool bands. Like we got to play with Arthur Lee's Love, and we played some really cool bands with him.
Yeah,
you know,
he's a legend. That guy
was rock and roll, man.
I don't think I ever met him. I did go over to the Spirit Club once to see Ill Repute.
Oh yeah.
But, they played there a lot.
Yeah,
Unwritten Law. They started there.
Yeah,
dude. A lot of bands started there because he would book bands that nobody else would book. Like he'd book us.
I would talk to him fairly regularly, and when he booked Gigi Allen, I told him, I said, I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I believe Darren and Justin were at that show.
Yeah, they were, and
I think they called me from that and was telling me. I don't remember. I mean, back
the
then,
mic up his ass or something.
Yeah, and then started throwing chairs.
Yeah, and the Fuck Dolls were there. The original Fuck Dolls were there.
Yeah,
played after him. I wouldn't want to play after Gigi Allen.
Oh no.
You'd thrown shit on.
But I could swear if my memory serves me correctly, I believe that was the end when Jerry was like, "Jerm, I can't do this."
Yeah, that was pretty insane. That guy's pretty insane. But he was a big. I mean, I was a fan of his, but man, I wouldn't want to play after him. There's no fucking way. He's like absolutely insane at that point.
Oh yeah,
you know,
suicidal to the point
just
of
dangerous.
Yeah,
just dangerous, and that's
Well, he wanted to kill himself and take out a bunch of his fans.
He kept saying all that, And like I have friends that were friends with him that knew him. I have a friend that has his butcher smock. It smelled like fucking blood and guts, It was fucking horrible. And friends from Texas are still friends with Merle and stuff,
Merle actually called me.
How long ago?
This was probably so it's definitely going to be in the 90s.
Oh, okay.
I was living. It's probably 6 months after Gigi played.
Yeah.
He wanted to play Soma.
There's no way they're going to.
And I thought about it.
Yeah.
Okay. I seriously thought about it.
Was it the Texas Nazis too? Right? It's like
I don't even remember
what Texas Nazis. I'm pretty sure.
So Gigi wasn't in the picture. It was just Merle's band, and I
Merle's band played. Yeah, Merle's band played, but they're not quite like Gigi.
No. But I thought this is going to be one of those
was Merle's band the Murder Junkies? Or
the Murder Junkies. Yeah,
I think that was probably
they'd back him, but they'd play with.
So they had their own thing.
Yeah. Murder Junkies still tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking to myself, this is going to be another one just like when Len lost his mind when I booked Blink for Metro, and that was a show where they brought in all the people. He's like, why the hell are you booking? They're, because they were pretty academic as far as their style, and they weren't really seasoned. And I'm like, because they're really good kids.
Yeah.
And because they promote.
Yeah.
And I think they deserve to play. Yeah. But, whatever. Len doesn't even remember it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But so I thought this is going to be like that, and I didn't want to be on the end of that cutting knife of Len telling me once again, why the fuck am I booking these guys? So that comes in full circle with I ended up obviously not booking them. I'm like, I can't take a chance.
With Murder Junkies.
Right.
Yeah.
Steve Jones called me not long after that. And
so
Charlie,
he probably had Neurotic Outsiders at that time.
He was strung out. Charlie had told me, because the UK Subs had played before.
Told you it was a mess.
Yeah.
He sobered up after that. He's sober to this day now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember Charlie saying,
don't mess with
Don't. And I'm thinking, I'm getting chills right now thinking about it. There's a few shows I regret not booking, Jewel being one of them.
Yeah. She was huge back then.
I said
coffee shop stuff.
Yeah, but I
played in Carlsbad.
I was supposed to book. I wasn't supposed to book.
She exploded.
Golden Voice wanted to do Jello at Metro, but it was a spoken word. I go, that ain't gonna work. Here.
Right.
Are you gonna bring chairs and have everybody
San
sit
Francisco.
down?
Yeah. I've been to it was Jello. I was thinking it was Hank or Henry Rollins. Nod to
as Keith would call him.
Yeah. But
only Keith can call him.
I regret to this day not booking Steve Jones because the fucking Sex Pistols, Steve Jones.
Yeah, 96. He played in 96. I was there.
But the thing about it was, again, because I, to this day, respect Charlie Harper so much. I think of him as a mentor because I
played with him. I've played with him before. Yeah, the world's
and he's always treated me great.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
And I just thought, there's no way I can't deal with something happening. At that point, it was really, what am I going to do with my life other than push a lawnmower and ride a skateboard and do my art?
Yeah.
Well, here I am, 54, and I'm pushing a lawnmower.
yeah, right.
Doing your art.
I didn't want to take a chance with Len because I didn't want to put us in that position. I was basically trained at that moment.
But he would have been like you. It would have been like booking Sid Vicious.
Yeah,
it would have been a mess, but they would have loved him.
Oh yeah, but it was going to be on the side stage.
Oh, he wouldn't have gone for that, would he? Would he have gone for that?
He had a pretty big ego back. Point, so
here's the thing.
I don't think he would have went for it.
Yeah, because they paid those guys $1 million a person to play in the Sex Pistols in '96 to do that tour. $1 million a person.
Yeah, but that's
right around the same time, dude.
Yeah, it would have been right before because I remember those promo things coming out.
It's Neurotic Outsiders, which is like '94, which I love that band,
and
it's like a super band. I don't think they would have played the side stage. You got like Duff McKagan's in that band and stuff.
I probably
because the Pistols played Street Scene.
Did they play Street Scene?
Yeah.
Yep.
I actually was on stage.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a good show.
I
was going to
so.
go down, but I back then too is like I can't really. It became for a while. I don't even think you knew this, but for one of the reasons why I dropped out was for so long was I was just afraid to go anywhere. I had to
like anxiety, social.
Oh
anxiety.
yeah, because I literally.
You felt like you let people down, or
oh yeah,
wow.
Absolutely, because who was booking local bands? Who was pushing local artists?
Yeah.
And
did it fall apart once you left? Is that what it was? Like there was no more you, so that it didn't happen anymore, or he took it over?
That would be.
You took.
That's when Jerry had to pick up my scattered like a freaking Hiroshima bomb blast of parts and pieces.
Wow.
And I don't mind saying now because, whatever, get over it, Len. I didn't give him all the phone numbers.
Yeah.
I specifically went through and wrote a new book. I was not going to give him kids. Tom's mom and dad.
Yeah.
From Blink. And there were certain, I gave them specific numbers. I wasn't giving them personal numbers. I wasn't giving them pager numbers.
Yeah.
The local scene wasn't really emphasized anyways.
He must have been fucking pissed at you.
Well, according to the outside information, he threatened my life enough to...
That would make you not want to show your face, just having that.
And if V comes running down and goes, oh, I got stories, because she's got stories because she had the inside information. Her best friend, Jack...
What's funny is like he got all this... He's hearing this from individuals, but I was working with Lynn after he left, and Lynn actually never talked bad about Jerem with me.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Which made it even more confusing.
Yeah, that confuses me hearing that.
But according to quite a few people, and even like I remember seeing Big Jerm. I was on the OB Pier. We're going out there to go fishing. Me with Chicky Charmaine.
I remember when you lived on OB Pier.
Yeah.
You had a bungalow on there.
Yeah, when I was living on that kid's floor. My
Is that what it
friends.
was? Okay.
Yeah, because I
just was impressed as shit, dude. I was like, this guy's got to be making bucks.
Oh, I was making bucks. I lived on my futon in their kid's bedroom.
I was like, he lives on the fucking Crystal Pier? I'm like, that is fucking badass.
No, that was Vernon Tira. Shout out to Vernon Tira. And
wow.
but yeah, that was a dark time because I went out of the car.
I had no idea. I remember we dropped you off there.
I was still paying for
Waited for you.
I was still paying for the electricity and the water, I believe, at the townhouse that I had with the ex and the kids that I no longer. Long story, and I digress. But coming back, I completely forgot where I was on that story, so I guess it didn't really.
About the pier, and you were sleeping
Oh
on
yeah.
the floor. And
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
So we ran into Big Jerm, and he says to me, "Damn, dude, you look fine." I go, "What are you talking about?"
What's that mean?
He's like, "Len says that you're on drugs and you're all strung out and you're doing heroin again."
I remember hearing about that.
And I went,
was
"Doing
like,
heroin
really?
again?" I never freaking did
I
heroin
know.
to begin with.
I know. I kind of remember that, just thinking like, wow, really? Like, you went off the deep end? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and
Like, kind of hard to believe for me.
yeah, because it was
Because I know the real Jerm. I'm just like, really?
yeah.
I just didn't see it, but I was like, it concerned me, you know?
I never saw him even smoke weed back in the day.
Yeah.
I know he drank.
Yeah, he drank.
I know he
He
drank.
definitely drank.
But he-
what was it you
I
drank?
never-
Silver Bullets or something? What was that
Well,
you drank?
yeah. To this
There
day,
was
even-
something. Was it Silver Bullets?
Yeah,
Coors.
Coors
before
Light,
then
right?
it would be Bud Light, and then I went into Coors Light.
And I
I
never
remember
saw him.
the silver
And to be
bullets.
honest, too, I never saw him get drunk.
Yeah, he could handle his liquor. Drank a lot.
I
though.
didn't. Ever,
Oh, yeah.
I never
Yeah.
saw him put away a lot of beer.
Yeah.
I could tell more stories about
I think
putting
we
away a lot of
furnished a
beers,
couple
but-
beers to him. Hey, go get me a silver bullet. Don't say anything. I was like, hey, Jerm, a couple silver bullets.
Yeah.
That's
And he
all.
was always professional.
Yeah,
he
he's
wasn't
pro.
yeah.
Yeah,
He
he's
wasn't
pro.
drinking the band's beer. or
No, but
anything
he's
like
got the
that.
look. You know what I mean? Like me. They look at me and
Yeah.
they just think like you're
Yeah,
trouble.
automatic.
Yeah, he's got that look. You know?
He's got to be that way because that's
yeah,
the way
he's
they
a
write
junkie.
about
He's
it
a
in
fucking
Hollywood.
Judging
junkie.
the
Look
book.
at him. He doesn't care about his appearance.
Yeah,
you know?
judging the book by the cover.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
to this day, I mean, look at me. I don't fucking care. I look like a fucking migrant worker right now. You know?
Hey, we all have our own style. That's the.
Yeah, I'm just
Well,
like,
after
well, I'm
this-
just old and don't fucking care.
If you want to
anymore.
judge me, judge me. I don't
yeah,
give a damn.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get tail. I'm not trying to get a job. I don't give
We're
a
just
fuck.
we're who we are. That's all. it
Yeah.
is.
At this point, I like
Comfortable.
sharing the stories, and I think of myself as a survivor. But the fact that after this, we are going to go and pull some avocados off of my tree because,
Yeah, let's go pick
just
some tree- I need
just
to
to be
pick
that
some avos.
stereotype.
You got a strawberry patch back there anywhere? I need some work.
I do need some help on my ramp. I have to
Assholes and
resurface.
elbows. Assholes and elbows.
But yeah, it's funny how, when I tell these stories and I look back at it, a lot of the things that I used to think was so, I would just say like devastating to not so much the ego, but just trying to figure out life.
Yeah.
When I was at Soma and I do that, I had a purpose.
Yeah.
When I ended up leaving and then eventually getting
Your
back
purpose
into,
is gone. Anybody can relate to that.
So I tried to do it with the bands, and then of course I kept it going with when doing Since in '77. My alter ego was Urine, which started with Disurinary, which came from meat, and it was the heavy, just abusive. I needed to get that out.
Yeah.
Because I was working at a 7-Eleven, and just I was a turd.
I can't. Were you in the 7-Eleven red shirt and everything?
Oh yeah.
Wow, I just can't
Yeah.
picture that.
Mohawk, and
I mean, I could see
I had
that
to take
show
out all
in
the
that t-shirt and
piercings
stuff.
and
You like a
stuff.
Slurpee?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're
Can
gonna
I-
have to leave the store, sir.
Can I see your ID?
Yeah.
You have to be 18.
Are you
No,
18 for
cigarettes.
smokes?
No, you can't use the bathroom here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they go, well, do you work here? Oh, fuck you, man. I'm hired. I don't know why.
Hey, I used to
do
work
know why I was
at-
hired
Hey.
because of Dominic.
Basically, when I was the Soma doorman, I had to go over. Remember when you used to have to go over to the 7-Eleven?
Yep.
And guard. Made sure only 3 people went in at a time. So basically, I was working for 7-Eleven while I was working at Soma.
Because they want the Soma people.
Well,
piling in.
they would just there would be like a mob of kids.
Yeah, I
going
would
in.
imagine.
But
I
that's,
got ripped off.
Yeah.
going back into that, it was another thing we had to police so much of the neighborhood for them. Mm-hmm. But on the flip side, our
I think
shows
that's why
didn't
you're
get
telling us to
busted.
stay in one area.
Well,
Can't
I
be
just
prowling around.
yeah, and the people that could pass off to not look like me. Like I come up and the first thing you think is, this guy's probably going to freaking run up my back, pound me on the head, run away, and I'm going to be pierced. Freaking tackle box, as Sammy or Soundman would say. But, realistically, I was so insecure even back then. I knew my place. So afterwards, not knowing my place, and then, like I said, now I still push a lawnmower. I'm living the life. But
You
to
and
be
me
able
both,
to tell
brother,
this,
I live in Tijuana. I mean, top that one.
that's the escape plan is Mexico, where my wife's family
Mexico's
is from.
great. I love Mexico.
But, to be able to tell these stories and for us to sit down and just have a conversation about these stories and get them out.
Feels good.
It's great because these stories aren't being told in like It's Gonna Blow or any of these other documentaries.
Stories, dude. Like we're dinosaurs, dude.
Yeah. And I do find that the kids actually appreciate them.
Yeah.
And just a heads up on the live, we're going to lose the live feed in a little bit here because the battery is about dead.
Okay.
So on the phone. So for the people that are watching this live or the people that catch this later,
Well,
when
we're
it dies,
pretty much getting close to the end
like
of the
how long we've
podcast,
been
dude.
talking.
2.5.
Oh, wow. So, yeah. Okay. I mean,
well, do we
can
want to
end this
listen
thing.
to a song or well?
what do you want to do?
We're going to do that at the end. Is there anything because they won't be able to hear it on the live feed?
We just can't play something that you
It's
don't
not
own.
licensed.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could play. You could play Land of the Lost or Board Girl. Do you have those?
Whatever you sent me.
Yeah. Or you can play. I don't know what I sent you now. I don't remember. I tried to send you a bunch of stuff. I don't know.
And speaking of it, another time we'll either have you come in again with someone else, but there's
Sun Goes Gray.
Sun Goes Gray is good. Yeah, that's a departure from that. Like I did that in 2016 with Lauren from the Dogs. That was a guitar riff he wrote like 50 years ago. Gave to me. I came up with the lyrics. I think I channeled lyrics from him.
Yeah.
Because he's like, "How'd you write these lyrics?" I go, "Did you have a girlfriend or something? Broke your heart at the time?" He wouldn't admit it.
Right.
But he was just like, "How'd you write these lyrics?" Like he was just because I think they meant something to him.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like Mamas and the Papas. Like that was really it's almost like a Yardbird song, the melody. But the lyrics are kind of like California Dreamin' or whatever.
Should
it's like a punk
Should
rock.
I go ahead and start playing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
I'm
go to listen.
done. I mean, blabbering on.
That's what we do here.
Glitch.
Wait to slide.
Oh, we're still live? Oh, sorry.
Sweet. I like that a lot.
Thank you. Yeah, Lauren
like
wrote
that.
the guitar riff, and I wrote the lyrics. Richard and Lauren play guitar, Diana Nile on bass, and Tony Machucci from the Dogs on drums.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, is there any other shout-outs so we can we'll wrap this up for now?
Passed away, and I'm just going brain dead on it, and I wanted to mention it, but I got Earl and... God dang it, I can't remember the third person. I'm just too old.
Well, it's
freaking
kind
old.
of that's kind of the lay of the land when trying to remember people that pass away. I mean, that strikes.
Yeah, it was a lot. 3 people in 1 week.
Oh yeah,
that meant something to me. You know,
right.
Like just too much loss.
Yeah.
It's like you start getting our age and it's loss. You know,
Yeah.
people are dying.
Right.
Family members. You know, you name it.
Yeah. Nonetheless, at least we're getting the story out.
Yeah, thank you for that.
And
it feels good to talk about some of this stuff.
Yeah.
When I talk further with Boris, I'll mention you because you should be involved in this project.
That'd be great.
His mother is a filmmaker, documentary filmmaker, and he's worked with her, and he's going out on his own. And she's a college professor from San Diego State or something.
Okay.
And so when I spoke to him, it was fun for me because I could tell he knows what he's talking about.
Right.
And it's North County and probably San Diego punk rock. Because I was like, you know, we touched on some of the stuff that we talked about, you know, and hopefully can capture it on film.
Yeah.
On video, I should say. Yeah.
Any documentaries on the scene that helps.
Yeah.
Get the because realistically, the kids nowadays that are pushing the scene, their parents either
their
grew
parents,
up
yeah.
met.
But the thing is it needs to be a complete documentary,
Right.
not just a chunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, an afterthought in a bigger piece. It needs to, But yeah, we'll help out however we can, and
Well, you probably got to at least have a voice in it because you guys are part of the scene, you know.
Yeah, I'd love to. Maybe we can have him sit down here and talk with us as he's moving things along.
Well, he's in Portland area right now, but he plans on coming back. So he just hit me with this concept, and he said, "What do you think about it?" And I said, "Dude, okay, well, like I want to know if he's ever done this before. It's just an idea, but he has. He worked with his mother. She's a documentary filmmaker.
Yeah.
So, and they do the circuit, and I've done that. I made movies before. I made a movie, and I did the film festival circuit. I worked on it. It was Diana again. She wrote it. We broke up over it because I was critiquing it so bad, but almost got picked up, dude. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars. It didn't happen because the U.S. imploded in 2007, but we were picking out actors and all kinds of stuff, 3 different times, like Lifetime, all these it was a woman-based story. I didn't get it as a guy.
Right.
So none of the men in Hollywood got it. Nobody wanted to hear it, but Lifetime and Hallmark, they got it, Richard's wife is writing Christmas stories for Hallmark and Lifetime and stuff. She's up in Canada. She just got back from Canada, but she had 3 Christmas films out on those channels.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so her name's Paula Tiberius. And Richard's the guy from Personality Crisis who plays guitar and produces those songs, produced that song. And, yeah.
Movers and shakers.
Yeah, they doing what they love.
So
you can do it too. I mean, I can.
Yeah.
Do it. We can all do it.
Yeah.
Don't just see what you like and go into that. It's a new phase of your life, Jerm. You know what I mean? Like you do what you gotta do. You're pushing a lawnmower to I do what I gotta do to make money to eat. But you still can find your creative outlet.
Yeah, I've definitely got it, and this helps a lot because I brought it up before, but it was going to be a book, but it was realistically going to be from my hindsight, and I would be a little bit more
you got a
aggro.
Story, dude, you got a story. Well, what it is, write it.
The story. I like telling the story by sharing with the other people that were in the story.
I'll participate in it if you want to do that, dude. Just let me know.
It just helps us bring back memories we forgot.
Yeah. That's the thing too. Is Jerry can keep me in line and check on certain things because I would have to look through books and blah blah blah. So much stuff just blended in together. But
you guys are a good team. Seriously, you guys are a good team. Oh, your phone just died. That's the end of live, everybody.
That's funny.
Yeah, but are we still recording? It's still recording.
Yeah,
I think you should play "Think About You" just to hear the difference. Can you do that, Jerry?
Yeah, let me
I just want to see. I'm really curious to see which version you like the best because there's a little backstory to it. So, can I go to the bathroom right now?
All right, Mike. Mike Spent, longtime friend.
Jerm
Thanks for coming in.
Cockroach. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
And so we're going to go out on another song here, but let's get all where we can find you on social media and all that.
Okay.
And also, where do you still have vinyl out that's available?
I do.
And how do people, let's drop all the...
Well, you hit me up on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever. I have it. It's in some record stores. Get Hip still distributes some of our music.
Okay, cool.
And I got a bunch of vinyl. You know, there's some still left. I've got Spent Idols and New York Horrors, NYW vinyl.
Okay.
And you can find us on Amazon, iTunes, Google, you know, most of the main venues for the music digitally. And you can listen to most of it for free, and then you, of course, buy it if you want. And, you can also find us on, like, Bandcamp and I think TuneCore and whatever those, you know, mainstream, you know, indie
music
indie
and
thing.
podcasting.
Yeah, it's like, you know, whatever those sites are, I don't even know. But and then YouTube, you can see there's music videos for most of the songs, so you can look at professionally made music videos and amateur made fan based videos too that people have made. So it's just Google Mike Spent or Google Spent Idols on YouTube, or go follow me. Please follow me and tag me and share any photos, any memories you guys might have. That would be awesome. Stuff maybe I haven't seen.
Yeah.
And you know, so there's a fan-based Spent Idols page, The Spent Idols, and then there's my page, Spent Idols, and then there's my label page on Facebook. These are all on Facebook, and Mike Spent on Facebook. So just hit me up.
And we'll have in the description, I'll put all these as well.
Okay. Yeah.
And before we get to the song, thank you, seriously, my brother, for coming in, sitting in with Jerry, and
thank you for having me.
You know,
means a lot to me. It's good to sit with you guys. I think you guys got a great podcast. And
thank you.
I feel honored to be a part of it, you know, and just keep the ball rolling.
It's family.
Yeah, feels like family. Feels good to be here.
Thank you, brother.
In all honesty, you know.
I mean it too.
It's good for me.
All right. Well, let's listen to another tune, and
let Jerry do his magic.
We'll be done. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, thank you.
Clouds creep back in.
This podcast was recorded at Red Rum Skates. Mixed by me, Jer. Music provided by Breakacre. We appreciate all our listeners and our guests. Please stay tuned until the next one. Have a great one. Bye.